Sorry about that to our loyal 2 or 3 viewers, but I did push the stop broadcast button instead of the stop screen share button. But we are back live on Bitcoin Talk Show. This is the show where usually we have some guests, maybe we have some other people on the show, but today it's just me. And you know what it's like when it's just me. That means that I need to do work during the show. So I'm going to be loading up Photoshop, maybe working on some graphics for Bitcoin Talk Show. The first thing I'd like is a call in now graphic, and maybe to be a little lower on the screen, but maybe not that low. So we're here live with Bitcoin Talk Show, and you could call us at 1-516-900-4WCN. That's 4926. Or Skype in to World Crypto Network. All one world, all one word, World Crypto Network. And we're back to screen share with Bitcoin Talk Show. This is a little Bitcoin Talk Show graphic that I whipped up a while ago. Probably just use this as a starting point for some kind of new Bitcoin Talk Show graphic. But basically, we're going to take you around the world of Bitcoin news, starting with what's going on at good old CoinDesk. CoinDesk says that eBay CEO is actively considering Bitcoin integration. That's a good move, but it would be bad for PayPal unless they can somehow tie PayPal into Bitcoin. Many have speculated that PayPal would be a perfect altcoin and Bitcoin wallet, perhaps challenging Coinbase, or even just purchasing Coinbase. Who knows? eBay considering Bitcoin integration. Call in, we'll talk about it. Live, go ahead and Skype World Crypto Network. We've got a couple callers asking if the show is live. I'm sure everyone's just finding the new link and very excited that we're at the new location. The old location, it was crap. The new location, much better. Still has a bright red stop broadcast button and no similar stop the screencast button. It just seems to screencast forever. But we're here live on Bitcoin Talk Show. We might open up some graphics, work on some adding some stuff to the Bitcoin Talk Show logo, something I did a while ago, something I haven't had the chance to upgrade. But the main thing I was thinking was missing is the ability to call right from this logo. So let's see what we can do about that. We've got some huge letters. Isn't that nice? Do you have huge letters? Call us. Tell us about your huge letters. We're on Bitcoin Talk Show, live. Checking out the Bitcoin news. Are off-blockchain transactions bad for Bitcoin? Faster off-blockchain Bitcoin transactions are increasingly popular, but this may not be a good thing. This goes back to the whole idea of Bitcoin is decentralized. And the first thing we do when we get a decentralized currency, we build a bunch of centralized institutions around it. And that's what off-blockchain transactions are. A company like Mt. Gox, they don't want to send a lot of Bitcoin transactions. They'd rather keep the Bitcoin in a safe wallet and then just have all the transactions be in the Mt. Gox database system. As I'm sure some of you have seen the leaked copies of the Mt. Gox database system. Having an off-blockchain transaction is a centralized system attached to Bitcoin, which is a decentralized system. Are they bad for Bitcoin? They certainly look bad. Let's see what else Daniel Caraway of CoinDesk has to say about off-blockchain transactions. Food establishments are the most common type of offline Bitcoin accepting businesses. Fascinating that you could accept Bitcoin even if you were offline. Shutdown of China's FX BTC exchange leads to customer outrage. Outrage as another exchange disappears, and customers were no doubt using the exchange as a bank. Just remember out there at home, exchanges are not banks. They seem like banks. They seem really secure, but really, they're exchanges. Former customers of the now defunct China-based digital currency exchange FXBTC are reporting that its operations are still holding. We have our first call. It's Theo on Bitcoin Talk Show. Theo, you're on the air on Bitcoin Talk Show. Can you hear us?
How are you doing?
Doing good. You're still upside down, Cam.
I'm on upside down cam. It's my trademark.
Very good. There's a little upside down cam for the viewers so they can get the idea of what's going on. What's going on, Theo?
Nothing much. I just saw that you were doing the show alone, and I thought I'd call in.
That'd be great, man, because I don't have like anything to say at all.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Let's see. There's a few things that are happening over at Cryptsy. It looks like they're going to open some U.S. dollar markets. Have you heard about that?
Very cool. Have they announced what you have to do to get access to those markets?
No, they still haven't. What they did announce is if you click on those markets, then you get a notification that they're going to open the verification system, but that was supposed to be yesterday, and I haven't found anything on the site about. I haven't found the verification system, so. But but they're doing something, so I don't know.
1.0 software, you got to develop it one point at a time, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess they're really busy, or I don't know what the issue is with them. But but that would be pretty interesting because they want to have Bitcoin, Litecoin, that much, and Feathercoin as U.S. dollar pairs. So I don't think there's another Dodge or Feathercoin U.S. dollar pairing at an exchange.
That is true. I think that would be the first USD and Doge pairing, and USD and Feather. I know at some exchanges like Bittylicious, you can exchange euros for those kind of coins directly. But Bittylicious is also more of a buying and selling service rather than a traditional exchange. So.
Okay, so you just send them money and they'll buy you some for you.
And I think it's also like if you're a seller, you could sell your coins on that exchange, and you would just kind of wait to get someone that matches what you're looking for. So.
Yeah, so it's like a person-to-person marketplace.
Mm-hmm. But
okay, cool.
Very cool exchange.
And also, something that Cryptsy did do, and it seems to be working, is they finally started their drawing. So they've got weekly drawings, kind of like a lottery.
I did see that. I put in a couple of claims on looks like a really nice iPad. I could go for one of those.
Yeah, that one already got given away, and this week.
Oh, I didn't win. Oh,
no, you didn't win.
News break. Mad Bitcoins did not win the Cryptsy free iPad drawing. I had about 10 entries. So.
I mean, I thought that was kind of. I mean, I know that you were using Mac, but I thought that was kind of weird because didn't Mac ban like?
They did. It would make more sense to give away an Android tablet. Though if I was gonna win something, I would just like to win something. But
yeah, me too. Yeah, I entered it too. I didn't win.
I entered it because I saw the next prize they were giving away was like a huge mining rig, and I was like, well, I got a much better chance winning this little iPad rather than a huge mining rig.
Yeah, well, I thought so too. I thought, the first drawing, maybe not everybody notices. Maybe I've got a chance, but I didn't win. But I entered the next one too. But I mean, I think so far it seems like a pretty good deal. I mean, if you think about your chances of winning the fiat lottery in some state or any of the other lottery web pages, I mean, I would trust Cryptsy more than some lottery page. And so I don't know. I think there's nearly 10,000 entries for the script miner. So you can enter up to 100 times.
Wow. And that's all through the Cryptsy points system, right? How do you earn Cryptsy points?
Yeah, you earn Cryptsy points by trading, or if you kind of like an affiliate system. So if somebody signs up with your link, then you get a small percentage of points depending on how much their trade volume is. Or you can buy points. And it's funny, the points are traded just like any other altcoin on the exchange.
I noticed that. I think I took some of my points, invested them in the contest, and I think some of my points actually sold them for a very small amount of Bitcoin. So.
Yeah. Well, the price really went up a whole lot.
Look at that.
points because they're actually having drawings. So
Wow.
it's kind of funny.
Hopefully I caught one of these cells, but it was more arbitrary. I was more just,
Yeah.
I could trade these. Oh, I could get a little of this, and the way things have been going, you know, I could just get a little bit more Dark Coin. I mean, Dark Coin has been going crazy.
It's been going crazy. Yeah, I've seen it.
Let's see, the last of Dark, my goodness, it's at 0.0075. So that's 75 for Dark Coin. Just a few days ago, I mean, pulling back to the week view, Dark Coin was below 0.004, what we're calling 40. So it's gone from 40 to 75 in about a week.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Is Darkcoin proof of stake too?
I'm not exactly sure. I know that Darkcoin's main feature is the anonymity, and that I do believe it's difficult to mine. So it's probably a CPU miner or one of the non-ASIC type scripts that they have.
Yeah, it's ASIC resistant so far. It's X11, and I think it has 11 algorithms. So that's kind of like Quark. Quark has 5, I think, and they switch off. And Darkcoin has 11, but I don't know. I think you can mine it with graphic cards if you set the graphic cards up right.
Very cool.
And but I don't know if you can mine it. Have you heard of? I think it's called Myriad.
Yep, Myriad Coin.
Myriad, yeah, however you pronounce it. Myriad. Sure. That one is kind of similar. What does it have? Like 5 algorithms, I think. And that one's different because you can mine it with any of the algorithms. So it's not ASIC resistant per se, but you could mine it with SHA-256. You can mine it with Script. You can mine it with the other ones, and they all have. Each algorithm has its own blockchain. It sounds really complicated, but it's kind of a cool idea.
Oh, it's actually, I'm looking at Murray Coin.
Yeah, be careful that you don't have the wrong.
And you know what? I gotta say, I thought the value was up, and I was kind of happy, like, because Myriad Coin is down to about 509. It's been in the 550s lately, whereas Murray Coin, named after Bill Murray, is actually at 600. So
okay, Murray Coin is a celebrity coin.
A celebrity coin, not claimed officially by Bill Murray, but in his honor. And we're in a strange situation where Myriad Coin, which sounds like a technically cool coin, like technically wise, but is actually worth less than Murray Coin, which is kind of a joke coin. So
I missed Murray Coin. I know there's a Colbert Coin.
Oh, I haven't heard of a Colbert Coin. That's very
cool. It's a SHA-256 coin.
Ah, Bitcoin.
Yeah, and there's a few other ones.
I heard about Cinecoin, and I kept not believing in it, and it keeps going up too. I heard about a Flutter Coin. I still don't know what that is. It sounds like Angry Birds the coin. I don't want to piss off the Flutter community, though. Much respect, Flutter community, whoever you are.
I think they can take it.
It's maybe 5 guys in a basement, but they're very serious about Flutter Coin. At least they were on May 8th. Now it's gone down.
I think that if I'm not mistaken, Black Coin, White Coin, Cine, maybe Flutter. I got to check on that.
Sure.
All have the same kind of technical. I don't want to say gimmick, but.
Are they all proof of stake / proof of work coins? Because I know that's what Black Coin is.
It's this. It's like you can simply just go to the announcement. It's no IPO, no pre-mine, limited proof of work, and then proof of stake. So it's like proof of work for like 1 week or I don't know how many blocks, and then it's proof of stake. So basically, it's an extremely pro-miner coin, the way they built all of those.
Huh. Very cool.
Yeah, well, I think that's one reason the price has gone up. I mean, if it's proof, you can hold it and you still get something, and maybe they figured out a way so that the miners don't just dump the new coins.
Well, it does look like there's been some pump and dump in the cine. The cine went way up and way
Okay.
down, and then it went up again and then down again. So that
Yeah.
that doesn't feel too good to me
I
just from a
haven't really
chart.
looked at
But
Cine so much. I mean, Darkcoin sounds interesting. It's kind of an interesting name, and if they're trying to do, I don't know if Darkcoin has zero coin technology integrated. Do you know that?
I don't know if zero coin actually became a thing. I think that zero coin merged with a non-coin, and then I've heard that a non-coin doesn't even want to be a coin. It's waiting for something else to come out called like DigiCash or Verify Cash or something, and that then a non-coin plans to merge with that. So
Oh,
it
really?
seems like if you want the anonymous coin, Dark Coin seems to be the strong one. Dark Wallet is the strong technology, and the
Yeah.
rest of it we're just waiting for new words that we can put the prefix dark onto. So
Yeah, that's true.
I guess Dark Market just came out. They tried to rename it to Open Bazaar. We're back in the language arguments. Free speech like beer, free speech like freedom, like whatever you want to, have your language.
Yeah.
So
But I think zero coin is not really a coin per se. It's more of a way to set up a coin so that it's anonymous. Uh,
pretty cool.
from what I understand, I was trying to understand how it works, but all I know is that to put it simply, you can kind of add it to a coin that already exists. It's possible.
Hmm.
It's kind of like adding a network. I don't know. I think it's like a kind of like mixing network where all the coins go through.
That'd be cool. I've heard of coin mixers before, just as
Yeah. So
websites,
imagine
but
if that was kind of like
as a
built
coin.
into um, the blockchain of a coin. So all of the coins basically just go through that anyway. So yeah, everything is mixed automatically.
Very cool.
How are your graphics going?
I managed to put the Skype name on there and the name of the phone number on there, so it's readable.
That's cool.
Not much more than that. Just looking through
Well,
the news.
I found two interesting coins. I think one is called Dream Coin, and it's also a proof of stake. Um, I don't know. I think it's the similar thing, like no IPO, proof of work, proof of stake coin.
Okay.
But it's they want to use this zero coin thing, but they haven't done it yet. They want to add it.
Hmm.
So sounds interesting. And have you heard of this Nautilus coin?
I think I have.
Well, some guy on CNBC created it.
Sure. I've heard of him, but is it actually becoming a thing?
Yeah, it's on a few exchanges,
Wow.
and it's valuable. I mean, I don't know, it's worth more than Dodge. I don't know how much it's worth exactly, but
Well, it's not a big deal to be worth more than Doge. But
yeah.
call me when it's worth more than Franco. But
Okay, I don't know off the top of my head how much Franco is worth, but
it used to be more than it is now.
Doge is in the 100 Satoshi range.
Yeah, 100 Satoshis is pretty.
Yeah.
But there's like a billion Doge, so.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like what was it? Italian. What was their currency called? Lira.
The lira, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, you could be a millionaire in Lira and it would just be like lunch money, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this Nautilus coin also, they have some kind of fund to kind of prevent dumping in the early stages. I also didn't really exactly understand how it works, but somehow they're effectively they want it. The main thing with Nautilus coin is they want to have a stable price. So I've never seen a coin that was able to do that so far.
They have T-shirts.
Well, that's a good sign, right? Yeah, marketing, right?
Says you can only buy these T-shirts with Nautilus coin.
Ah, that's cool.
They're a little militant, I guess. It says "Get Naughty" on the back.
Well,
fill
why
out
not?
the form and send 200 knot to here.
All right, 200 knot. I don't know how much that is. I have to I'll go check that out. But
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting. Hey, maybe that will become a collector's item. Who knows?
Oh, don't start people on collecting T-shirts now.
Yeah, I could say, oh yeah, I've got a mint Zetacoin T-shirt. You know, mirror mint, never worn, in plastic, sealed.
I always
And,
I always wanted to order a T-shirt from ISO Hunt. I don't know if I ever did. I don't think they have T-shirts anymore. They were like driven out of business, but ISO Hunt was cool. Let's see if it's on eBay. That would be cool if they survived as a merch store.
Hey, it gave me an idea. You could have a coin trading collect like baseball cards, but each coin has a card.
That would be cool. Yeah, and I don't know if you want to go baseball cards or playing cards. There's definitely like either way, because there are so many coins. Like learning them, like keeping track of them.
Well, on the back you'd have all the specs. It'd be like instead of a batting average, it would say like total amount of coins, algorithm, I don't know, QR code to the announcement thread.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, QR code. Yeah. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I've been working on some other sports ideas. I think there's a lot of good sports metaphors with the altcoins. So I'm trying to develop those.
What do you mean? Like one of the altcoins represents a sport?
No, I'll talk about it later. But yeah, Nautilus Coin on Twitter says shelling out since 14. Shelling out. Lots of puns with a Nautilus Coin. I like the humor.
Shelling out.
Shelling out, like getting naughty. Oh look, if I follow Nautilus Coin, I could also follow Tip Flutter Coin. So there you go, Flutters. I'm following your tip bot. Oh, and look, the tip bot followed me back. Thank goodness for auto follow, right?
Yeah, it must be a bot.
Yeah. Such service. You only get such service from a bot.
Right.
Let's see. People are retweeting the Mad Bitcoin story that at Bittylicious you can now buy Bitcoins with credit cards, at least in the UK.
Really? Bittylicious?
Bittylicious, that's true.
Yeah. Bittylicious.
They've got a deal or some kind of a deal with Visa and MasterCard, and I think you can buy not only Bitcoins, but Pure Coins, Feather Coins, Black Coins, a variety of coins.
It is interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, Bittylicious, a very early sponsor of Mad Bitcoin, so it's always good to give them a mention, and I don't mind plugging them at all. So very cool people. But and again, everyone's on this team, and especially after watching this Bitsby Trippin' video recently, we're all on this team of like Team Bitcoin. And what's good for Bitcoin is good for everybody on this team, whether you just have a couple Bitcoin, whether you make software for Bitcoin, whether you try to talk about Bitcoin all the time. All of these things are good for Bitcoin. So we'll just watch a little of this Bitsby Trippin' video. Let's see what happens if I go full screen. I'm not really sure. But here it is. Go ahead, Theo. We'll talk over the video.
Oh no. Yeah, they've got a Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Quark.
Very good. That you can buy directly with.
So Dogecoin costs tens, hundred, thousands. 3.5 millionth of a euro is a Dogecoin.
Pretty good. And they said that.
I get to be a Doge millionaire.
That's what I've heard. I mean, I think it's around $400 US. So you'd have to convert that into pounds. It's probably around $500-600.
Well, they've got it in euro here. I don't know if they just automatically detected that I'm in a euro country.
Well, Bittylicious is mainly a European service, so it is.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It has this. So in the EU now, they've got this thing called SEPA, so Standard European Payment. I don't know, SEPA, but basically it means that you can do a bank transfer to anywhere in the EU, and it costs the same fees. So the banks got together and were like, okay, we're going to standardize the fees to all the countries, so it's not such a pain in the ass to send someone fiat to another bank.
That sounds very cool, but I can already do that with Bitcoin.
No, I think Bitcoin's better, but it just, if an exchange offers that, it makes it really easy for people to send money there.
That is cool.
And because of that law, they made it so that the banks can't hold the money for like days while they're doing the transfer. So the old way, let's say I want to transfer money from first to Italy, it might take 3 days just because the bank is holding it. But now in 1 day.
That's crazy. So the bank can't make profit on that anymore?
Basically, they can't. They've just figured out a different way to make profit. Somehow, I don't know. They just raised the fees on something else. But but basically, they've made it standardized in the EU that there are certain guidelines, and I think it has to take like 24 hours or something. So.
Because that's the trick. If they can hold on to your money, they're definitely figured out a way to profit off it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they just raised some other fees somewhere else to compensate. But
well, I have bad news for your dreams of being a Doge millionaire through Bittylicious. Bittylicious only has 54,000 Doge that you can buy at present. It says we can click 54,000, less than 100,000. It looks like it links us to a thing where it says Bittylicious is a marketplace. So I suppose you could buy all of the Dogecoin on the Bittylicious market for 54,000, $16 or 16 euros and 34 euro cents, whatever you guys call that, Queens.
Yeah, cents.
Standardized the units, have they? So,
yeah. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. Delicious.
You could. I mean, the real neat thing there is that. I mean, unfortunately, Bitcoin prices become really hard to predict, but when Bitcoin price was going straight up, if you had credit and you could buy Bitcoin, you could just buy the Bitcoin, pay off the credit the next day, have a couple extra bucks. I mean, there's some definite speculation possibilities, but of course you're speculating against the heavy interest of your credit card, so everyone should be careful with that. But that's what speculating is, so.
It's true.
Danger. Excitement, adventure, Bittylicious. While we're plugging places, we should check out that HK Bitcoin ATM. They have another website. There it is.
HK.
Hong Kong Bitcoin ATM is opening this Sunday, May 18th, 2014, from noon to 2 p.m. at the Shop 322 on the 3rd floor, Chick Castle, at the President Commerce Center on 608 Nathan Road in Mong Kok, Hong Kong. So very cool. They had a very cool robot. It's on the Mad Bitcoin show. I saw they have a dancing robot that you can send Bitcoin to, and the robot will dance. And at first,
what is this place again? Is that this Bitcoin shop, or do they make their own, or does this place make their own ATM?
I think it looks like a Lamassu Bitcoin ATM, so it's pretty standard Bitcoin ATM. But I think this might be just a shop that wants to promote Bitcoin, or maybe just I guess they have robots, but it says like here like meeting point, like teaching. So I think they're just trying to be a just like a Bitcoin hangout. And it says Bitcoin Museum. That sounds interesting. But I mean, I just got an email today, and they have a dancing robot, and they wanted to sponsor Mad Bitcoin, so I'm always open to that. And they made it really easy for me, so I was able to work with them. And
how do you sponsor Mad Bitcoins?
Well, according to the Mad Bitcoins website, I did manage to set a price. Part of the problem has been like I don't know how to set the price. So I want to work with everybody, but if it's going to be a long negotiation that ends in someone not sponsoring me, then I don't have a lot of time. So we did actually work out $300 a week, and you get a link on the webpage, a mention on the Twitter, and discussion on the episodes. So the other way is through the coin of the
lifetime.
for not a lifetime, but it's for a while. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we just need it's an informal agreement. So among gentlemen. So, and the other way is, of course, the Coin of the Week contest, which has been really successful, but it's slowed down a little. But I understand that because it's obviously a promotion. But Peercoin is the Coin of the Week. Peercoin is a proof of stake / proof of work coin. Before Black Coin, before White Coin, Orange Coin, Myriad Coin, Flutter Coin, Cinecoin, whatever other copies of Black Coin there may be floating around today, there was Peercoin. Although Peercoin is still 90% proof of work, so it's only really a 10% proof of stake coin right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're joined by Will Pangman. Hello, Will. How's it going?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Will, we're joined by Theo. Theo, this is Will. Will, this is Theo.
Hey Theo, nice to meet you.
We've got about 23 viewers, and I've been making some Photoshops here. I added the text to the bottom of this Bitcoin talk show graphic I made a while ago. It says, Skype, World Crypto Network, all one word, or call 1-516-900-4-WCN. That's 4926. And you could be on Bitcoin Talk Show. We're just hanging out watching the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin is $4.45 on Bitstamp, $4.45.86. If we zoom in to the 1 minute chart, we look pretty flat. Back out to the 5 minute, we're ranging between 448 and 441. Going back out again, still 440 to 448. Back out some more, 430 to 448. Seeing some definite ranging. 430 looks like a floor, 448 looks like a high. Looks like we're coming in for a landing still.
Wait, were you looking at the 5 minute chart or?
Yep, we were at the 5 minute. It still looks relatively flat.
Yeah.
Going out to the 15.
I mean, it's fun to look at those, but you're not going to be able to really see a trend in the 5 minute chart, I think. It's kind of random.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I think all the charting is random, and I also think that it's an expression of the past. Like, this is a very accurate expression of the past. Like, I have no idea what's going to go on in the future.
Yeah.
Like, in the past, this looks like a W, right? And that orange line is going down, and this blue line is going jagged up and is crossed through the orange line, right? These are the things we really know. The orange line is the average. The blue line is some other kind of average. We zoom out.
Can I see your screen on Skype? Because I can't see your. I'm just listening. I can't see the screen.
I'm not sure about Skype. Let me see if we can. Do you have Google Plus?
If I go on YouTube, it's delayed.
Yeah, let's see.
If it doesn't work, it's okay. I was just trying to figure it out on my side.
Instant message. Alright, so let's see. So we're just looking at the chart. See what's going on. It's not letting me paste. Okay. Alright, there you go. If you follow that link, you can join in the Google Hangout, and then that should solve that.
Okay.
There we go. But no, it still looks like a good chart to me on the 4 hour. Coming out to the 6 hour. Looks like we've got a call on Skype. See what's going on with El State. See if they'll call in. It does look like we're coming in for a landing. And there's a little up and down here. We come back here to the 1 day chart. We can still see the big fall. Big fall in the orange line. Back to the 3 day. You can see all the way back to the big high in November and January. So Will, what's going on in Wisconsin? Are they banning Bitcoin? I hear so many good things.
I haven't heard anything about Bitcoin being banned in Wisconsin, no.
Let's see. Is it spelled Wisconsin? How about Cleveland getting Johnny Manziel? Is that a big deal to you guys?
Not to us, no. I hear they're pretty happy in Cleveland, though.
Yeah. They've all bought jerseys for a non-starting quarterback. Oh, looks like we've lost Theo on Skype, and we might be joined by Theo in the Bitcoin Hangout. And that's good because there's now less sound. It sounds very quiet. So we're just seeing what's going on the Bitcoin markets. We were looking at Dreamcoin. We were looking at Nautilus Coin. Of course, we were talking about Darkcoin. Who couldn't be talking about Darkcoin these days? With Darkcoin's price going from around let's see, going back to the week view on Darkcoin, bringing it up on the old chart here. Darkcoin started out earlier this week below 40, and now is in the 75s to 80 range. So, hello, Darkcoin. Theo's even upside down in Google Hangouts. This is some webcam you got. You sure you're not just physically upside down? You know, sometimes like the letters on the cam. What if you put the cam upside down? Is it on your laptop? I guess that's not.
It's on my laptop.
It's not on his laptop. Yeah.
No, it is on my laptop. It is. It is.
We're joined by Theo.
Can you hear me?
Hangout. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
You can look at my screen. I can look at your screen if you want. We can have a competing chart competition, whatever it takes. And we're joined by.
So I can get a chart up and show you. Hold on.
Sure, it's got a screen share button on the left-hand side.
All right.
Use the chart you want to look at, and we'll talk about that. But, you know, charts are just expressions of the past. The future is determined by whether or not people buy Bitcoin, whether or not people spend them, more businesses that accept them, things like that.
Yeah, that's
and here's an example of a Bitcoin business, the Hong Kong Bitcoin ATM. If you shoot Bitcoin at that QR code, the robot there will shoot back at you. So it seems kind of stupid at first, but if you think about it, if you had just bought your first Bitcoin for $1 or whatever passes for $1 in Hong Kong, right here from this ATM, and then you stepped aside and you wanted to test it, maybe send a quarter or something to this robot, you could test Bitcoin right here. You could send a Bitcoin from your brand new Bitcoin wallet on your phone to this robot, and the robot will respond by, shooting you. Or maybe the robot is shooting cash, metaphorically. The robot is, eliminating and terminating the old system. So way to go, robot. Way to go, Hong Kong Bitcoin ATM. Looks cool. So more Bitcoin ATMs should have robots. And if you look, they've got some of those USB ASICs down here. They got a fan on it. Looks like a couple other Bitcoin items. I saw a picture. They had a Butterfly Labs machine. It looked like it was a museum piece already. So I don't know if it's just a museum piece or it is a museum piece. Sure as everyone heard on Mad Bitcoins this morning, Butterfly Labs has more than 301 complaints to the FTC. They're looking for $1 million in missing orders from Butterfly Labs. Butterfly Labs, the best.
How many orders?
I've heard more than 301. Well, they say here 283 complaints against the company, worth more than $1 million in orders.
That's a lot.
Undelivered Bitcoin mining machines.
Well, maybe they're mining with them.
I think that's what the judge thinks. The judge said that there was a strong smell of fraud coming from the company.
Well, we don't need a judge to figure that out.
Absolutely. Butterfly Labs. Of course, you all heard that HashFast is also having trouble. Had to fire half their staff. Now they're saying they're probably not going to deliver on what they said they were going to send out. So once again,
what do they build?
Yet another mining company. Yet another Bitcoin mining company.
What's the name of their product?
I think it might have been the Titan. I don't know. HashFast.
No, Titan is KNC is Titan.
KNC. So theirs was. Now they're saying the golden nonce.
Okay.
Doesn't nonce mean no thing?
I don't know.
Cryptographic nonce is an arbitrary number used once in a cryptographic communication. So it means something used only once, so N once. So it's also a British and Australian slang term for a sex offender, usually a sexual abuser of children. So that's this product right here, the HashFast golden sex offender, usually a sex offender to children. So Good luck ordering that one. Like, I would buy that chip. And it says it'll ship immediately, which may be true. I have heard that they do have the chips, but they're not going to sell full computers anymore. But again, you're ordering for a company that has half their staff that has already not delivered to hundreds of people, allegedly not delivered. But it looks like Theo's got a chart. What's going on?
I'm going to do some chartism here.
Oh, very good. Tell us the magic of charts.
Okay, I'll show you one magic thing. If you're at Bitcoin Wisdom, you can come over here to this these lines right here. Fibonacci retractments, they're called. Click that. And what you want to do is you want to find a significant low and a significant high. It's really basic. Okay, and then we're going to go all the way to the bottom of the candle. So where those little lines stick out, the wick of the candle, let's go to that 63 right there. That's going to be our bottom point. Let's go over here to the top right there, 1163. All right, now we've got, so basically this is going to show us, should show us some of the resistance lines. Let's see if that made any sense. Well, not really. A little bit. Okay, you see here. Okay, you see this line right here where I'm going with the mouse.
Yep.
It touched that. It went over it here. It tested it one time, went down, tested it again. So it's kind of like here you see a double top. So it went up over 1,000, went down, tested 1,000 again, and it didn't hit it. And a double top is a really big reversal sign. You could argue that here is also another double top right here. Yep. So there's two double tops. So double top. I don't know if that's a real term. Yeah. Now, as you can see,
it is chartism. I think you can make up new terms.
You could, yeah. I heard some new ones the other day. Okay, I'm going to remove those retractment lines, and I'm going to make a new one, and I'm going to use a more recent. Yeah, 85 low over here. Yeah, let's see. That was in October. When was Silk Road busted?
Sounds about right. Maybe.
Was that Silk Road, or was it over here in the beginning of November? Anyway.
The Silk Road bust you can hardly see on the charts anymore. It was such a quick recovery. It was really incredible.
Yeah, it's like a one day. All right, so then I did the same thing. I did 85 to 1,000. So 1163, and that looks more relevant, you would say, chartism, because you can see here this retractment line. It's there's been support at that line more than one time. See, it goes down here, almost nearly touches it.
What's the bottom number on that?
359.
350. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah. Mentally, that's what I was thinking. That seems to be about the lowest that I generally see.
Exactly. And so that's yeah. What you want to do with this analysis is up to you. But this is interesting here. This last 339, because it has 2 day. I'm on the day chart because in my opinion, you shouldn't use the shorter charts and do chartism. Then you're just. It's like you could look into a crystal ball and be more accurate. But you could maybe find a trend doing this. If you see these two candles, they're almost exactly the same. You might be able to call that a double bottom, which is a bullish signal. Because if I use both of those as a reference, it's totally flat. So a double bottom has to be totally flat, and it is. And as you can see, after that double bottom, it went up. And it hasn't touched that that double bottom since. So that's why a lot of people are getting excited. Some people have zoomed in and found double bottoms, or I don't know what they're. I think over here. Here you can see again, yeah. So now we've got a new resistance level, and keep in mind these are day candles. This is not 1 minute or something. This is a day. Here's a day. Went up. China bad news. Went down a little. Uncertainty. Bad news down. More bad news. But it never. This is kind of like the new low over here. That's at 429 as so the closing price at 429 for a day. And so yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. I mean, some people say this is a kind of double bottom right here. There's another one.
I mean, it has looked
Yeah.
like it's coming in for a landing for a long time now, but every time I think that we've
Yeah.
landed, it breaks out into a new low. So I just I mean,
That's true.
obviously
I agree.
my positions are where they are, and I hope things come back and it goes good. But everyone should
Sure.
secure their positions and move things around and that kind of stuff. So
I agree. And also, while we're at while we're doing chartism, let's look at some Doge chartism, because I found a double bottom too.
All right. Now,
Okay.
do those usually follow Bitcoin? I know that Litecoin has traditionally
sure.
followed Bitcoin.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, all of the altcoins are gonna, if Bitcoin goes up, all of the altcoins are in general gonna go up. If it's how much and when exactly, how much it's delayed is just the question, you know?
Well, I know a lot of people believe that the altcoins go up exponentially against Bitcoin and they go exponentially down.
Some do, but not all. I think we're seeing the exception with these new proof of stake coins like Cine and Black and White Coin. They all worked opposite of Bitcoin, but yeah, in general, I mean, you can take a look back at November and December last year. You had Litecoin almost hitting $50. You had Namecoin, I think it went to 10. Now Namecoin is at 2. So just to give you an idea. Okay, so here is Dogecoin, a double bottom here. Hit a low, 86. And you can see this resistance level has been confirmed here, and here. And it looks like it's not going to go that low again. And we can even make a nice triangle like you like to do. Everyone likes to do in chartism. We'll use this high, make a triangle like that. And so as long as it goes for the next few days and doesn't break this resistance line down here, there could be a Doge breakout. Who knows?
Wouldn't that be great for all the Doge heads? They love their Doge. We're joined by Marguerite. How's it going, Marguerite? Looks like your microphone's muted. I wonder if my microphone's muted. Sometimes I wonder. We're going back to Will, see if Will's microphone's muted.
I'm here, guys.
What do you think of chartism, Will? Can Theo predict the future by looking at the past?
I certainly think there's something to it. Yeah, I'm fascinated when people who are literate in that sense can just kind of show their skills there. I learn things from it, but again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much efficacy there is in charting.
I don't know if you can see it at home, but Marguerite was zooming in and out there. She was like big to small, some kind of video error. But it was great before she popped off. It was like a Max Headroom effect. Very interesting.
That's awesome. I did see some of that down in the corner there. That was kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think whatever theory you bring into chart analysis is more predictive of your more predictive of your thesis or your prediction, your future prediction for price than any history. You know what I mean? So like, there's no completely agnostic view of history. It's all predicated on a bullish or bearish philosophy going in, or the analyst is more important, I think, than the history in terms of chart analysis.
There's no atheists in a foxhole, right? I know there's something else going on today. Let's go over to World Crypto Network and see what's going down. I've heard about this. Have you guys heard about the Glenn Beck show?
Yeah, I saw that you retweeted. I don't know. Glenn Beck is talking about Bitcoin. Then something is going on.
Yep, Glenn Beck is suddenly a big fan of Bitcoin. He seems, despite the funny thing about Glenn Beck is this kind of feigned ignorance that he's acting like he doesn't know anything about Bitcoin and he hasn't bothered to research it, which is terrifying ignorance. If I find out something new about something, I'm going to go read everything about it. I'm going to find out about it, even if you have a busy work schedule, especially with his show. This is obviously research. He could tie this into his show. There's no reason for Glenn Beck to be completely ignorant of Bitcoin, and yet that's what he's presenting himself as. And maybe that's just a tool to help his audience learn. But it's a very interesting interview. He goes back and forth with Elizabeth, I'm going to say her name wrong, Plauché from Bitcoin Magazine, Jeffrey Tucker from Liberty.me, and Christoph Atlas from Anonymous Bitcoin Book and the World Crypto Network. Dark News. That'd be cool if they put that down underneath his name, but it doesn't look like Christoph gets a Chiron. Glenn Beck's not really on TV anymore. He's on something called The Blaze, which sounds like a Glenn Beck television station. I'm sure they're the ones that gave him these classy glasses that are these tortoise? Are these called tortoise shell glasses? These are from the 50s.
I don't know.
I've heard a lot about these.
Black frame? I don't know what they're called.
It's a giant black frame, but he's also got little things on the side. He kind of looks like an owl.
Yeah.
He is on television. I don't know about that choice, but he seems to have a jar full of pencils here as well. So he's got some wheatgrass, pencils, and it looks like a stack of calculators. So I think.
But the important thing is, the question is, does he have a blackboard? I think I see one in the background.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that there is a blackboard.
Yeah.
They reference it towards the end of the show, and then I think he says that like Christoph drew the blackboard, but it's clearly one of the Glenn Beck artists, and it's a very confusing blackboard. It's not a programmer's flowchart. Let me see if I can get the blackboard up in this version. It's
Glenn Beck has drawn some really epic blackboards.
And it was so sad because I heard the idea and I was like, oh, it'd be great if Christoph drew him a blackboard and like explained how Bitcoin worked or something like that. But no, it was just kind of like a crazy drawing with Bitcoin and the banks. I'm having trouble finding it right now. I'm not seeing it in the YouTube summary below here. I'm not sure if it was early in the show. I thought it was kind of later in the show. But
I thought it was, you know, I know the way he presents himself is kind of ignorant is. It's unfamiliar for like a former cable news pundit or, you know, cable news pundits in general. I mean, they purport, you know, they comport themselves as experts, arrogant experts usually too, and I think it's kind of refreshing. Although I'm not a fan of his at all, never have been. It's refreshing that he would take a very blank slate approach to this, you know, to this issue. You know, honestly, what he covers on a daily basis, I'm sure, are, you know, socio-political issues and, you know, foreign policy issues probably pretty regularly, and those issues certainly overshadow something like a new technological innovation, no matter how, you know, transcendent it may be. You know, and we know Bitcoin is you know, at the top of the heap of transcendent technologies.
The greatest thing that's ever happened.
Right. So I mean, if he's taken a visit to Silicon Valley to learn a little bit about it, or he's you know, read some things. I know Jeffrey Tucker sent him a letter. I think it's published online too before it reached.
That was obviously a mistake because he's assuming that he can read. Maybe you should have sent him an audiobook. Notes on that. Think about that for
yeah, perhaps. I mean, it's you know, it's neat to see this approach, you know, as opposed to, I mean, again, I think he mentioned the Silk Road, but in a completely different way than any other news outlet, media outlet, pundit of any kind in the relatively mainstream press or whatever has done so.
He was a customer.
I don't know what he said, but he, you know, like he referenced the Silk Road, but not like as a retort to an answer provided by one of, you know, our Bitcoin colleagues there on his panel. So, you know, nothing they said conjured him to like rebut their point with, yeah, but the Silk Road, right? Which is the common the common thing. I mean, it's a tired refrain.
And then,
So
that's Silk Road 2.0. 2.0, please.
those things were refreshing, at least for me to watch it. And you know, mostly, this is a huge stage, of course, for all three of these people. You know, Elizabeth, Christoph, and Jeffrey Tucker, who's you know, a more seasoned spokesperson than the other two. But yeah, I mean, this is an enormous stage with, you know, millions of views apparently, I think, and they all knocked it out of the park. I thought all of them did a fantastic job. I was really, you know, I was kind of smiling throughout watching those two small clips, because I was just so proud of our friends for, you know, like hitting home runs there on his show. And
let's break it down a little. I was especially pleased by their Bitcoin demonstration. When Elizabeth sent $2 to Jeffrey, it took about 5 seconds. They hadn't done it before. They scanned the QR codes live. They even had kind of an over-the-shoulder camera where you could see that they were just scanning a QR code, which people don't understand. It's like a barcode, but you can send money through it. So just that they were demonstrating that live on TV instantly was really impressive to me. What do you think, Will? Anyone else still there?
Yeah, I thought it was very clean and smooth, and you know, the whole conversation that they had with him was very natural, had a nice flow to it. Yeah, I really can't stand those panel shows or roundtable shows where everyone's cutting each other off and stuttering over themselves to get the airtime and stuff like that. I just can't stand that. So this is a much more pleasant viewing experience than whenever I try to watch other, you know, mainstream Bitcoin coverage on cable news, which I know The Blaze is on some satellite channels or whatever. It's not. I don't think it's on cable, but it's very much like a cable news network, you know, just the Glenn Beck brand, I guess. But yeah, so it was the demonstration was fantastic. That's what you have to do to stimulate people who've heard about Bitcoin maybe briefly and never really seen it in action, and that was wonderful. I'm sure they showed, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, you know, how easy and fun it is, and how just like.
And it's nice to see someone like Beck deliver this information to his people, because I think if we looked at these people before, the kind of information they had on Bitcoin, let's face it, they basically knew that it was the mark of the devil, and that the QR code was somehow the sign of the beast, and that this new internet money could be some kind of a major negative thing. And I don't think that's true. I think a lot of technology people think that's not true. But you know, if you hear that from enough of the kind of people that you believe in, that could become your worldview. So seeing
I found the ultimate Glenn Beck chalkboard.
All right, let's see it. What has he got?
So he tried to spell oligarch, and he misspelled it, and he tried to. It was kind of like he built a conspiracy theory, and so he made a list: Obama, left, internationalist, graft. I don't know what the hell that is. Acorn-style organization, revolutionaries, hidden agendas, and he circled all the letters, and he thought it would spell oligarch, but it spells oligarch. Yeah. And that he became. Jon Stewart did a really funny parody of him since he did this misspelling. I mean, but he really hits the chalkboards hard. But hey, luckily he did a good show on Bitcoin, so we're lucky.
All right. We did actually. Speaking of chalkboards, we did find the Glenn Beck chalkboard from.
Here you go. That looks pretty clean. That's nice.
You know, I mean, the main with the whole system, because the banks are included here. It has the sender up here, where you have your private key. It has a Bitcoin miner, which validates. It has receivers, which are Bitcoin wallets. So it's a little unclear. I don't really see the blockchain in this diagram where it's being validated. And then down at the bottom it has exchanges, and then it has banks in here. But the banks aren't really part of the Bitcoin system. So it's a little.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he does it in a way that people could understand. I mean, the banks, yeah, okay, if I send fiat, I got to send fiat from my bank to the exchange. I mean,
But he
That's
also
not.
has a line here from the sender directly to the bank. So you could send
Yeah.
Bitcoin to the bank. I
That's,
mean, it's not like
yeah.
where
Okay.
does Coinbase show up on this chart? I mean, it just doesn't seem
Yeah.
very real world. Like, but again,
Yeah.
I would like to show him the real Bitcoin. I'd send him some and have him buy something. I mean, really, I know
Mm.
Andreas only got a couple of minutes with Joe Rogan, but this last time he was on, he got Joe to show his QR code, and as soon as he did that, Joe got like $1,000 in donations that he
Wow.
was going to give to a charity. So it's very cool. We are joined by David Gilson. How's it going, David? We're just talking about Glenn Beck and his recent Bitcoin video that he came out with. We're also joined by Marguerite. How's it going, Marguerite?
Good.
Hear you now. We hear David. David, how's it going?
Good, thank you. I submit.
Sounds very quiet, David, so you might want to move closer to the mic or make sure that the Hangout is using the microphone. Sometimes in the settings gear, it'll be using the default microphone instead of the fancy plugged-in one. So let's check that out. But we're just looking through the various stories. We had Butterfly Labs is in trouble again. And what else is going on in Bitcoin today? Marguerite, is anything going on in Bitcoin with you?
Well, when you had Theo on, I wanted to ask him about Liberty Coin, but
Okay.
Theo, have you heard anything about Liberty Coin?
Yeah, I read about it because I thought it was interesting. But I think from what I understand, yeah, they created a coin, Liberty Coin, and they wanted to implement Zero Coin, and well, they failed.
Oh.
I think if I, like I said, I'm not an expert about the Zero Coin implementation, but from what I understand, when you implement it into the coin infrastructure, it also requires that whole system, the Zero Coin system, requires a kind of public and private key itself. So if the developer has these keys compromised, then he screwed up. And I think they did something wrong. I don't know exactly what they did wrong, but they did something wrong, and yeah, that's all I got. I tried to read about it and figure out what they did wrong, but something with the coin is not working correctly.
That's so sad. Liberty Coin. It says,
Yeah.
believe, rise, liberate, May 9th. And then now
Maybe they will
today,
fix it.
May 14th, we're burying
Yeah.
the coin. So it's a 5-day run for Liberty Coin.
I mean, maybe they'll fix it. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, and we'll look for some more information. I'm sure if you're a Liberty Coin head out there, you want to write into the question and answers section or give us a call on Twitter.
I mean, in the on the thread in Bitcoin Talk, a lot of people are upset. I mean, I think that I don't know exactly why. Oh, I know why. Some people in the thread are mad because they said a pool stole their Liberty coins from. So that might not have something to do with the coin per se, but I think it's a twofold problem. There was a problem with one of the mining pools from the start, and there's some kind of problem with the coin. If they have something to do with each other, I have no idea exactly. But that's what I got from just reading through the thread. But the thread is pretty long.
That's too bad because it does seem like a good mining pool is key to having a good coin. You want people to mine your coin, right? So.
Yep.
I didn't understand how it was going to be 100% proof of stake, and I think they're still going to that, implementing it soon.
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, Blackcoin, 100% like starting out, did they pre-mine all of it?
Well, it's not 100% yet, is my understanding, that they're becoming 100% either today or tomorrow.
That's a beautiful way of becoming 100%, is that you do it really slowly, and then someday you're done. So
I think that it's the same thing that we've been talking about. It's that limited proof of work, so it's mineable for a limited time, and then after that, it's all proof of stake. So that's the same thing.
For a limited time.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you're an early adapter, you kind of get like a double, quadruple bonus, because also the proof of stake rewards are really high at the beginning. That's what made Cine, Black, White, and all those coins really popular.
I know that Blackcoin was at 50 a little while ago, and now it's been back in the 25s. So very rough. But are we joined by David Gilson? Can you hear us and speak to us, David?
Yes, I'm here now. You should hear me fine now.
Still sounds pretty quiet. I'm going to try to boost you on the Google box. How about now?
Testing, testing.
You're still pretty quiet, but why don't you tell us what's going on in England?
Some of the things you've just been talking about haven't made it over here. Myself, as some of you may know, I'm based in Kingston upon Hull in the UK, and I'm primarily concerned with getting Hullcoin off the ground.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I was the journalist who broke the story on CoinDesk. I'm no longer with CoinDesk, and Hullcoin invited me onto the board of directors, so I'm kind of trying to take some ownership and try and make sure the darn thing happens.
Very cool. I think I saw a mention of Hullcoin this morning when I read about the Scottish second-hand store that's now going Bitcoin only for 3 days. What do you think about that story?
I think that's really positive. I actually reported on this a month ago, although it popped up in the press again yesterday because they've attached it to the Scottish independence debate that's currently going on in the UK. But I think it's great because it's going to be an easy way for non-techie people to actually get some Bitcoin. The only thing they're going to have to do is get a wallet somehow, but I mean, hey, if they just sign up to blockchain.info, excuse my phone going off, I will silence
The
it.
real bummer still seems to be the Apple ban on Bitcoin wallet apps.
Yeah.
Seems like if we had what we had just a few months ago, when you could get the blockchain.info app from the App Store, you would just walk into one of these places with your iPhone. If you look at the picture right here, we can see one of the guys does have an iPhone, and the girl, it looks like she has an Android-type phone. But it's just so disappointing. We can't use our iPhones anymore unless they're jailbroken or unless they have the previous application installed from the good old days. But,
yeah, I think it's really a bad move by Apple banning this because people in the crypto community are very enthusiastic users, and there are people who would embrace using the iPhone if they could, but they can't. And then also, the only way you can is if you jailbreak it, and Apple don't want you to jailbreak it, so they're forcing people onto Android or to jailbreak, neither of which they actually want.
Absolutely, and even this morning I was like considering about new Apple laptops, and I started to look at Dell laptops as well and Linux laptops, and I was just considering my options. And normally I wouldn't even do that. I'd be like, oh, I just get the new Apple laptop, something lighter, better battery, makes less noise. No, now I have to consider the Linux laptop. I have to consider Dell, maybe even something like Tails Linux. Try to have a secure, quiet system with all this Snowden information going around. It really seems, what seemed like paranoid a few years ago now seems just pretty standard, you know.
Yeah.
Don't forget to your tinfoil hat.
The tinfoil hat box.
Yeah, well, yeah, you might laugh now, but what do you think these webcams are reading? They're reading our brainwaves. So when you think of a password in your mind, the camera is reading your brainwaves and it's logging your brainwaves to figure out what you're thinking.
I know we were talking last week, someone said that they could tell what you're typing by the sound of your keyboard. If they know the kind of keyboard it is, they can run up some kind of program and clickety-click, this sounds like this, and they can determine your password from your keyboard typing. So.
Well, I think a way to defeat that would be to give your keyboard some unusual wear so it makes unusual noises.
Yeah.
Actually, if you read Cory Doctorow's Big Brother, they were saying that in the near future they were going to track everyone by gait recognition, by how everyone walks, so the kids in the school all put gravel in their shoes so they were limping around.
That's a great idea, and I heard about that in the book. It was very cool. And it did seem sensible. And just another thing with when you have so much camera data, and especially being in the UK, you know how many cameras they have and how it's gotten out of control there. And once you're starting to stack that data upon data, you could analyze people's gait. You could analyze where people walk on the sidewalk. Maybe people are jumping over cracks. You could tell that kind of information from the data you have.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real shame here in the UK, all the cameras. I mean, I know it's good in terms of collecting evidence for dealing with a crime afterwards, but it certainly doesn't make me feel safer. A camera isn't going to stop me getting stabbed. A stab vest is going to stop me getting stabbed.
The main cameras we have here are traffic light cameras. And the idea used to be that a CHP or a traffic cop officer would pull you over and say, hey, you're going too fast, it's not safe. And that solves the problem, right? The guy slows down immediately, he drives safer maybe for the rest of the day. But the new thing is it will shoot pictures of them going through the intersection. So that doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't stop them immediately. It doesn't give them a warning. In fact, if they were really intent on speeding, they could just do camera light, camera light, camera light, camera light, get 5 or 6 tickets, and then plow through the children, plow through the other car. It doesn't solve the problem. But again, we're really going towards driverless cars here. They just need to Google speed that up. So.
Yeah. And the good thing is that the more complicated all these measures get, the easier it is to spoof them and play around with them. I was talking to a security expert I know about camera systems that have got like magnetic detectors in the road to trigger the camera. And the same way, if you could just like put some sort of electromagnetic devices above them and just trigger them in the right sequence, you could actually really mess with the camera and make it look like a teddy bear's flying by or a car is going by backwards at 70 miles an hour.
I know they had an article recently that Hackers, the movie, I think it's 1995 classic, they hack the traffic lights and they make all the lights go green and red and they cause a bunch of accidents, and then they're able to skate through because they have rollerblades, whereas the cops all have to have cars and they run. But they said that's actually possible now, that you can hack a traffic network, you can change the timing on the lights, and you could really cause some havoc if you had such access. So,
and that might, just getting back to the cryptocurrency subject, given that money is just one way of using a blockchain, you could actually have a blockchain-controlled traffic network. It would have to have a very fast block time.
very fast.
Yeah, you would have to have a really fast one. Can anyone buy Hullcoin, or is it just local?
Right, okay, Hullcoin. I will just do a little bit of explanation, seeing as I'm sort of the unofficial spokesman for it. Hullcoin is going to be, basically, it's an application of cryptocurrency. It isn't going to be a full cryptocurrency as we understand them. It's at the moment, I mean, for everything's subject to change because it's in embryonic development, but at the minute we're talking about colouring feather coins. But that could change. And whereas cryptocurrencies, we're used to them being decentralized and being able to trade everywhere, in Hullcoin's case, it is going to have to be centralized, at least at first, because we're trying to use it as part of an anti-poverty framework. And the main thing is to have a local currency, and the cryptocurrency aspect to it is just a means to an end because it's efficient and secure. You can't double spend, you can't forge it, so it's really good. I mean, people are basically just going to have like an ID number on a card, and then all the wallets will be handled centrally. But it would be nice to see it roll out as a more traditional cryptocurrency. And we are going to have to try and mine for profit. We'll be mining other cryptocurrencies because we need to have, I mean, basically we're going to be a bank in Hull, and we need to be able to allow local merchants to cash out, and so the money for that is going to have to come from somewhere, and we're looking at ways to do that in the short term and long term.
That sounds good.
Will the local government control all of the mining for Hullcoin?
No, what's happening is that Hullcoin was originally created by 3 people in the Hull City Council Welfare Rights Department. The intention always was to make it its own independent thing, and actually an independent corporation has been formed for Hullcoin to be under, so that it isn't subject to all of the sort of local politics that inevitably happens. At the moment, we're just trying to settle what exactly the council's relationship with it will be. So the inception of it came from within the council, but we're going to get it out of council hands into an independent form as soon as possible.
Very cool. So right now the city would be just perhaps buying new feather coins and then coloring them to create new whole coins to then give them out to welfare recipients in the area?
Yeah, well, buying and mining, because we do have a mining rig, which was actually purchased.
Mine feather coins and then color the feather that way, like that kind
Yes.
of. Okay.
Yes.
Mining feather. Okay.
Yeah. And then it's going to be the best way to think about Hullcoin, at least in its early stages, is going to be as a voucher system rather than a fully fledged currency. Hull recently won the bid to become the UK's 2017 City of Culture, so it would be really nice to see it in 2017 be completely different to how we're talking about it at the moment, and it almost be like theme park money when people come to visit Hull in 2017. But that's a long way off, and that's a bit of a daydream at the moment.
Do a lot of businesses accept Hullcoin?
At the moment, I think there's 3 businesses have said they will when it's available. Because that's the thing, it isn't even available yet. It's very early. Because actually, when I wrote the story for CoinDesk, it seemed to me it was a lot further on than it actually was. So that's kind of why I accepted the invitation to go on the board of directors for Hullcoin, because I'd really like to see it happen. So I'll take some responsibility for it.
Very cool. So, totally unrelated question: is the soccer team Hull City from Hull?
Yes, it is. I'm not a sports fan, but actually, it's very funny in Hull at the moment because Hull City's soccer club, whatever it's called, I think it's now called Hull City Tigers. We got to the semi-final of the FA Cup recently, and a lot of fans were like saying, "Well, we've got to buy the tickets no matter how much for cost and go down there because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity." And I'm thinking, come on, guys, be more optimistic than that.
I don't know. Soccer's a tough game. More and more, it's the richest teams that win in all the sports. So
Yeah,
I know they were playing Arsenal. I'm not sure if that's in the future or the past, but I had seen it. So.
That is the FA. Yeah, that's the FA Cup final. That I don't know when it is, but yeah.
I expect more soccer knowledge from the UK. You're disappointed. UK soccer knowledge.
I'm sorry. When we were doing gym class at school, I always had a note to
Maybe I
excuse
should call it
myself.
football. If I call it football, does that ring the light?
Well, I know more about what you're talking about, but I know the word soccer as well, so that's okay.
We do have some questions, so let's just go to some questions for a minute. Oh, it looks like it's Marguerite taking off.
No, I was just saying I just heard about have you heard about Goalcoin, the soccer?
Yeah.
What's Goalcoin?
Goalcoin? No.
Yeah, GOAL. It's that's what is Brazil, the Brazil 2014 World Cup predictions. I'm not sure. I just sent the link. I just heard about it.
Sounds very cool. Are they just going to use it for predictions?
Specifically for worldwide sporting events, in this case soccer, and the World Cup, it says.
I'm excited for the World Cup 2014. I always root for the USA, but I hear we're in the group of death. It's Germany, Ghana, another really good team, and then us. So we have to beat, I think, 2 out of 3 to get to the next round. Maybe a tie might help, but it looks pretty rough. So I think it's going to take a lot of Goalcoin to get there. But we're joined by Marguerite, who recently interviewed Bert Green of Bert Green's Fine Art Gallery in Chicago, and he takes Bitcoin.
Yeah.
How about that? Pretty
He
cool.
was really, really awesome.
So how'd that go? Was it a good experience talking to him?
Yeah, great experience. And hearing he's like a pioneer over there in Chicago with Bitcoin and art and bringing it to the people, exposing them to Bitcoin in a very subtle way so that it's fun for everybody. He's not.
So does he sell art in Bitcoin, or does he charge a cover fee in Bitcoin for the gallery? What kind of a?
He offers to take the payment in Bitcoin, but he wants, more than anything, I think he's just talking about it more than selling it at this point, because he wants his artists to be interested in selling it.
I think it does make a lot of sense for artists to hold Bitcoin, to keep some Bitcoin, and even as an investment, if you could sell a painting and get a few Bitcoins, stick them in a wallet, put it on a shelf, it might turn out all right in the future.
Well, and also he was talking about how he has a lot of investors worldwide, and how then he could show artwork online and they could pay for it in Bitcoin at the same time.
It's definitely much easier to pay overseas with Bitcoin. It's almost no trouble at all, whereas the old system is really nothing but trouble. I know he talked about his investments, and I thought he had a very incredible streak. It sounded like he bought Bitcoin at the right time. He sold it at the high. He bought some altcoins at the high. He sold those at the high. He bought other altcoins. I was really impressed with his story. What did you think of that, Marguerite? Is he the luckiest man in the world?
Yeah, well, on his website he has a picture, a Doge meme from like a year ago.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, he knows his stuff, and he was talking about his space, how they don't get charged for the electricity, so they were mining from the gallery.
That's an incredibly good idea. I've heard about some condos in Arizona where the guy was like, I'm moving here specifically because they don't meter electricity. I can't imagine that working out. You use an incredible amount of electricity. I really think they'd notice.
It would work for about a month at least.
So a month, that's, well, again, in mining month, and especially if you could get as many machines as possible in there, that'd be something. I know, Marguerite, you guys were talking about this series. This is a series of alphabet letter cards, and the artist did them over a period of maybe 20 years or 30 years. It was an incredibly long project.
Right.
Developing each card as just when the moments strike during times of trouble. The cards all focused on death, I think. So this one, obviously, a skull smoking a cigarette, the letter C.
But if you go to his site and you see the entire series, there's more than 26. She did a couple duplicates of a couple of letters. The skeletons are very lively, or death is very lively in a lot of them, so it makes for a nice contrast. They're very interesting.
And anyone at home can check out Ben Green's site at bgfa.us, and it looks like perhaps Rebecca Gray Smith is the alphabet series. And look, we can see more of them. Looks like here's the B. Looks like a baseball skeleton man. So, pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of Edward Gorey's alphabet series, the Alpha Gorey series. He had ones like, I know, X is for Xerxes, devoured by mice. And there were other ones like T is for Timmy, who fell down a well. It was all very morbid alphabet letters.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, Edward Gorey is really good stuff. I have quite a few of his books. But yeah, going back to the interview, I always had some nail art. Nail art's a funny thing. I saw these girls at the Kings game once. They did nothing but look at nail art on Instagram for the entire game. It was about 3 hours of nail art. And I don't know if they were shopping or thinking about their own nails or just looking for inspiration, but they were very, very involved in nail art. Oh, is this a chair full of whoopee cushions?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think I could see as that well in the background, but yeah, that's not just flowers. Those are all whoopee cushions. So that would be quite a fun chair to sit down on, and quite not fun to blow all those back up for the photo. So.
Well, he was saying how the show that he just was having right now is half of it is, or most of the show is a comedian, which has the whoopee cushions.
Yeah, I like the propeller hats, getting larger to smaller propeller hats. Very cool on the side, and it's just very cool that he takes Bitcoin. So, and it's quite a photo gallery here for these alphabet letters. You can get prints. You can buy a full set. Very cool at bgfa.us. So what else is going on out there in Bitcoin talk show land? Anyone have a subject they'd like to talk about? Don't everybody jump up at once. It's not as exciting as Hull City versus Man U. Certainly. I'll go back to what I was talking about. I was looking at laptops. Refurbished Mac Airs, $700-800. But then if you want a Dell with Linux, you have to pay like $1,000, $1,100. So I don't get that at all. I thought Macs were supposed to be expensive. And I thought Dells with Linux were supposed to be
refurbished, right?
Yeah, it's refurbished. I looked for refurbished Dells. They didn't have any, but I'd be interested in it. I looked at the outlet site, and I'd be interested in some kind of maybe a heavier computer. But
did you see that picture that was going around on Twitter that is supposedly from the Snowden papers?
No, I haven't seen that. What is it? A picture of the papers?
No, 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 no. It's a picture of, I think he called it loading, but basically it's just when the NSA inserts monitoring devices into computers. They just intercept it in the post and then put whatever they want in it and then just send it on its way.
Very cool. So it just says loading.
So maybe, I don't know, if you have a refurbished one, if you have a higher chance or a lower chance, I don't know. But,
Yeah. Well, I mean, they pretty much they have the internet at its source anyway, so it
pretty
is.
much, yeah.
But yeah, we're just hanging out with Bitcoin Talk Show. We're live. You could call in at 1-516-900-4WCN. That's 4926. Or you could Skype us at World Crypto Network. All one word. We've got David Gilson from Hull. We've got Theo from, where are you, in the Netherlands perhaps?
Nope, I'm in Frankfurt, Germany.
Frankfurt, Germany, in the north. And Marguerite from Arizona. So we are picking up all of the time zones today, but no one's in Amsterdam. What do you guys think about Bitcoin 2014, the big conference that's starting up this weekend in Amsterdam?
I don't have time.
No time to hang out with your fellow Bitcoiners? Sounds about a... That's great.
Yeah, I think it would be fascinating to go, although unfortunately, I'll get on my soapbox now, online writing is severely undervalued, so I don't have the money to go.
Well, you got to get a Patreon campaign and start flogging it every day and tell people how important it is that they could support Mad Bitcoin's Patreon at patreon.com/madbitcoins. Look at that. $231 a month. I can buy groceries. So, not much else. But yeah, I'm also not going to Bitcoin 2014. I could have bought a plane ticket for just maybe $1,500 or so. So that would have been a heck of an investment for a 2-day conference. But it should be a good conference. I know a lot of good speakers are going to be there. Let's see what's going on. The keynote speaker is Patrick Byrne from Overstock.com. Then he's going to be joined by Jeremy Allaire from Circle, Bobby Lee from BTC China, Gavin Andreessen from the Bitcoin Foundation, and much, much more. Elizabeth Plochet will be there. We just saw her on the Glenn Beck program there. And Brock Pierce from the Mighty Ducks. And many other people that I don't really know, although I've heard of some of those people. They all seem to have glasses and suits. So it's very much a glasses and suit convention.
Have you heard of Rainy, is it Reitman? Electronic Frontier Foundation?
I've heard of the EFF, but I don't know that guy.
Lady.
People are sending contact requests. We might have a new caller here on the show. Let's see. Incoming call. It looks like I've successfully figured out how to get Skype to stop ringing. It's pretty excellent, actually. I have enough of those noise. So, let's see. I'm taking your call. I'd like to talk about Broke and the 13-year-old boy. Okay, well, I don't know what that is, but we'll give him a call. So, go ahead and call in if you have more information on that. Looks like I've managed to make Skype so that it doesn't even make ringing sounds when it calls. So that's kind of an upgrade. Sounds related to calls. Okay. We're here live. Oh, there it is. Calls and it rings.
Hello, Thomas. Hello.
Welcome. How's it going? Is this
Fine.
My Nomadic joining us now?
Yeah, it's Bjorn van Overmeuren.
Bjorn, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
Fine. I had exams today, but I passed, so.
Very cool. Excellent. You know already? You just had a good feeling?
Yeah, but today I didn't have time to prepare the show, so I can't do any live tutorial today. But I'm going to keep my word. So for the giveaways, because last week I said I was going to give more Battlefield 4 tickets away. So you can do another giveaway, and the secret question is, what does 42 mean? What does it stand for?
What does 42 stand for? Anyone listening now would like to contact us on Twitter. Can they contact you at SilverQDA?
Yeah, like last time.
Very cool. I'll go ahead and retweet that. SilverQDA. We're giving away Battlefield 4, but remember, we're only giving this away if you have a gaming PC with a relatively new video card and you are a gamer, meaning that you will use it. We want to give it to someone that'll be useful, not just for resale or some kind of not using. We want it to be useful. So that's very cool. That's very cool of you, Bjorn. So what was your exam in? Just while we're here.
I had to create a movie theater with a SQL database and so on, and a lot of logic, an architect's plan on how you have to build the whole engine with a 3-tier system, like a business layer, data layer, and your queue, and so on.
Very cool.
So very abstract, very abstract. But do you have any technical people in your show?
Oh, well, we're joined by David. He's a writer. Theo, are you a programmer? Are you pretty technical? I know Margarita.
Technical question again.
I don't know. I guess I'm technical. What would you consider technical?
All right.
Just that you know a lot about how the technology works for certain cryptographic things. Because I would like to ask a question about Ethereum.
Okay.
You can.
I don't know so much about it, but ask anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ethereum is built on the blockchain of Bitcoin, right?
No, I think it has its own system, as far as I understand.
Because I was thinking last time I talked about creating shares through cryptographic value, but then I looked more into Ethereum. And I was starting to think if you want to build an application on the Bitcoin blockchain or another blockchain of another cryptographic value, wouldn't it just be possible to use the blockchain and put on that a master key? And after that you build your own wrapper, so you always can refer to the correct data. Or is it too abstract?
I think I know what you want to do, because I remember last time. You want to make a Bjorn coin, basically, and the question.
A company in crypto land. So
okay, let's say company X, and you want to know. And one idea was to make an altcoin, and the other idea was to use the existing blockchain. Those are your two basic options.
Yeah, but the first option, I forgot the other person's name. He explained that it wasn't a good idea.
That was me.
Think about building something on the blockchain of Bitcoin or Dogecoin or another coin.
Yeah. Well, Mastercoin uses the blockchain.
A parser that recognizes the numbers to a certain dialect I created. Well, how would you start building something on the blockchain?
You would basically color some coins. So the concept of colored coins, and you would color some coins, and any coins that come from this address, that originate from this one address, would be Bjorn coins. And that would be the basic concept. You can also read about Mastercoin. Mastercoin uses the blockchain. So it's not it's an altcoin that just uses the Bitcoin blockchain, and they have their own programs and all kinds of interfaces. I mean, basically, you could just color some coins and say, okay, this represents shares in my company.
Yeah. Do you have any white paper on it for any example? Or if you know,
I would say not on hand, but I would just search Mastercoin and then see what their white paper says. Yeah. And let me check on Twitter. A guy just followed me today, and I think the name of the name of his Twitter handle was something like "Other Uses for the Blockchain." Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah.
Just while you're looking up, I'll just interject and I'll just
Yeah,
say
go for
the Mastercoin paper. I read that last year. Now I don't remember it well enough to give you any technical quotes now, but it does explain very well how you would go about doing this. So it is worth looking up. I can't remember the guy's name now. But the founder of Mastercoin, he wrote a very good paper on it, which does explain the whole process of how you layer new services on top of the existing blockchain and how you can actually feed. I mean, he was talking about creating like gold coin or US dollar coin that would actually, the coins on this sort of layered blockchain would be tied to certain like value feeds, so you could actually plug in a source of data from an external market, so that you would have a cryptocurrency pegged to a real world commodity, for example.
Yeah, because I would only like to store information inside the blockchain, so not actually exactly a coin, but just information and so on. But I will do some research on it.
Yeah, well, just remember that whether you're transferring the values of a coin, which is basically not much different to transferring money in a game or points in a computer game, or any other information, it's all pretty much the same. It just depends on the meaning that you attach to it.
Yeah. I love Bitcoin, the Mad Bitcoin Show. All the smart people.
Woo! Yeah. And I was told let's try to go through some of the question and answers. We have a question for David. Someone's asking about Gale coin, which I believe is the Irish national coin, or a national with quotes around it, not official.
Yeah, that's the thing that bothers me about this. I think what they're doing sounds interesting. They're pre-mining. If I've read it correctly, they're pre-mining the first 100,000 coins, and they're going to have a limit of 640 million coins. And I think the key technical difference with Gale coin is that they said they're going to make it very hard to mine, so we're going to set the difficulty very high from the get-go, which is good. That will defend against multiples. However, their website says it's to defend against pump and dumps. I don't think that is going to work. It's going to defend them against multiples to a degree, not completely, but I don't see how they're going to defend against traditional pump and dumps. Also, they're saying that the first so many Irish citizens to sign up can claim some coins. There is no apparent way on their website that you actually prove you're an Irish citizen. Maybe there's a further process that you go through after you fill in the online form. I don't know. I've just become aware of this.
I'm sure everyone remembers the recent Aurora Coin airdrop that just really didn't work out well for Aurora Coin. I didn't hear about that many people actually getting coins.
That's the thing. If you're going to do a national coin, it's going to have to be under the control of national authorities. That ain't going to happen for a very long time.
Does seem like it'd be very tough to get their permission. Here, I did find the Aurora Coin cartoons. If we just want to go through this really quick, I would. Oh, it says CryptoComics.com in the corner, so I'm going to check that out right now. Comics.com, because I was looking for the author of this comic strip. Oh, good, there's more of them. So this is what I'm going to be reading when this show ends. But now I'll go back and try to find this. So let's see, where'd it go?
It's great.
Crypto-comics.com. Where'd it go? I lost it now. It was in one of these tabs.
So as your guys' thoughts on the Darkcoin? Still going up and up and up. So.
Darkcoin's been amazing. I saw it was up through 75. I saw it about a week ago at 34. I'm sure some people saw it maybe 2 or 3 weeks before that at 12. So there's been a lot of gains in Darkcoin, and it's one of the few times where it's a technically advanced coin, it's selling a good idea of anonymity, and it might be going up in value because it has value. It could be one of those rare occasions. But this cartoon strip talks about the airdrop and has a couple of Bitcoins talking to each other, and he says, "Isn't it crazy how many altcoins are out there? I know. Every day there's just a shitload of new ones added to." And then, Aurora Coin falls in. And he says, "Ah, that's right. Must be the airdrop." So great work from crypto-comics.com that I'm just learning about right now.
Sure.
Very cool.
So for the people who mine, always make sure you sell your coins before you get the airdrop. Oh yeah, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I made a nice profit on Aurora coin, so.
There you go. It was an incredible thing. It was up to maybe $60. I saw it go down to 60 cents. It was quite something. But let's go through a few more of these question and answers because we've got some question and answers here. It's not showing them on the screen, but let's see. Drastic Raven writes, how long do you think before cryptocurrency pops up in computer science exams? For example, in GCSE/A-level exams. Probably a good question for England. What do you think, David Gilson? How long before Bitcoin is mentioned in the exams?
I think at that level, and the age level that he's talking about is 16 to 18-year-olds, because in the UK, education is only compulsory up to the age of 16, and that's at the point you do your GCSEs, and then you go on for a further 2 years and do your A-levels when you're 18. I think that is going to be a very long time until such things are covered, and it might even just be covered in the social sciences before it's covered in comp sci. I think where it is going to come into education is in university level, and I understand that there are already some modules on this, which is appropriate. Cryptocurrencies, much as we've all been in it for years and everything, it is still an emerging area, so it makes sense that it's going to be covered in the universities first. I think we're going to have it be much more mainstream adoption before it starts being officially mandated to the kids.
Very good. We've got another question coming in from Skype. He says, thinking about 6 to 9 months down the road, what major companies does everyone think will be fully integrated with Bitcoin? eBay and PayPal are coming around. What impact would a large direct sales network like Avon or another major company with a large base of work-from-home individuals bring to Bitcoin? Marguerite, what do you think about that? Should Avon accept Bitcoin?
Oh, maybe Avon. I think it'd be better if it was a cooler company that was.
It could make them cool again. Obviously, they're looking to get back into the limelight. Pink Cadillacs are a little old, but what about QR codes? QR codes are all the rage, right?
Yeah, I don't know. When I was talking to Bert, he was right. Like everybody's a little bit. People aren't up on the technology, so getting people into we have to do something really clever to make people interested in scanning those QR codes.
I think the Scottish shop had the right idea. You just cancel cash payments for a couple of days, make everyone go to your Bitcoin ATM, get in line, get an address, get it on your phone, whatever it is. Maybe they have to buy an Android phone to get the right wallet, but try it out and get some Bitcoin flowing in the system. And especially they're a pawn shop, right? So maybe you could go in and sell your things and get Bitcoin right on your wallet. It's really a matter of getting people set up, getting their first Bitcoin.
And starting a new routine, because the routine is a little more complicated than pulling cash out of your wallet.
I don't know. It can also be simpler, because I usually have my phone with me, and I know my phone's address. I've got it saved in my email. So I was ready to go out, and I was like, well, I need some money. So I went to my Coinbase, and I sent some, $40 to my wallet, and then I just walked out with my phone, and there it is. I had extra money. I could buy as much Indian food as I wanted. So
it's true. But it's just you have to start the new routine. You have to be familiar. You have to start that new account. You have to use your phone. You have to find those apps.
That's why they need to start today, and I think it would have been great. It was great they demonstrated Bitcoin on the Glenn Beck show, but it would have been even better if they managed to send him some. We don't even really know that he holds any Bitcoin. I know Joe Rogan talked a big game about how he was going to look it up, but then by the time he'd seen Andreas again, he still hadn't bought any Bitcoins. It wasn't until he held up his QR code that the donations started flowing in for Joe Rogan. And, maybe that's the way it has to be. Someone has to give you your first Bitcoin. You can't just, buy them sometimes.
Well, I'm just seeing on Reddit that a nudist resort is now taking Bitcoin, and how appropriate because they don't have any pockets.
But where do they put their phone?
Oh, trouble.
That's true.
Actually, Margaret, I agree with you about people finding a new routine. And I think there is a real serious chicken and egg problem for things like Bitcoin to get mainstream acceptance. A little while ago, during all the Wholecoin media circus, I had a guy from BBC Radio Humberside. He came to my house to see some mining equipment, and then he went out around merchants in Hull, just basically getting box pops about, would you accept Wholecoin? And the same question came from all of the merchants was, well, I would if I knew I could spend it. If I knew I could get the value back. And which is why I think the CEX story in Glasgow and the UK as a whole is interesting, but they've kind of taken the conservative step that they will hand out bitcoins for people's goods, but they're not going to accept bitcoins. Now, if they're accepting bitcoins, that would be much more significant, because then people would have a reason to have bitcoins because they would have somewhere to spend them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps with Wholecoin, the government could buy back the coins in addition to mining them. It does seem like they need a velocity. They need the money moving around in their system. So.
Yeah, that's right, but I would not expect, with the local government that we have in Hull, I would not expect that to happen, because the understanding of cryptocurrency just is not there.
Because it's definitely, I mean, it's a very complicated thing. They're designing their own currency, they're creating their own market, they control the supply. If they can get businesses to accept it, if they could exchange them and then give them out again, the idea being buying them from businesses could be as cheap as mining them or any of the other options.
Well, if Hull City Council decide to do that, we'll have done our job very well.
Because that would also increase demand for the currency, keep the value going up, having a regular buy-in. I know that's what Blackcoin was trying to do with the Blackcoin pool, because Blackcoin is proof of stake, so you can't mine it. You could mine it very briefly, but that time's over. And what they're going to do is mine other altcoins like a multi-pool, then take all that money and buy Blackcoin to support their coin. And if Hull City was doing a similar thing, taking all of their money, and then perhaps they could even buy it from the merchants at a discount. Maybe they could make a little percentage on this. There's opportunities there.
Yeah, that will be interesting, and we're certainly going to explore all of those models.
And certainly we're mentioning QR codes and Bitcoin, and you can donate right to my phone, Joe Rogan style, right there. The amazing power of the blockchain app, even on the jailbroken iPhone. You can still send a little Bitcoin magically through the phone anywhere, even from other countries. David likes some Bitcoin too, but his looks all white to me. Better zoom out some more. Uh-oh. The very small Feathercoin QR code in the upper right-hand corner there, but there it is. You can send some Feathercoin to David because he's in the UK. He's only taking Feather today. Very cool. And again, it's the iPhone thing hurts not only Bitcoin, it hurts Feathercoin and Dogecoin. I'd love to have a Feather or a Doge wallet on my phone, especially one developed by a good developer who's keeping it secure and doing a good job. But that's an Android option now. That's not an option for an iPhone user. They had a Doge wallet. I think it was banned. I haven't heard of them having one in the jailbroken store. Not a lot of app developers put new apps in the jailbroken store, I think. It's kind of a slower.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a wild idea, and I want to see what you think about it, Thomas.
All right, go ahead.
So I think that for user adoption, that something like the metaverse, the future, online digital virtual reality will be what really secures a digital currency.
So virtual reality and buying virtual property with virtual money, that kind of thing?
Right.
You mean like Second Life?
Well, Thomas, you read Ready Player One, right?
Yeah, read it.
Okay, so I know that Oasis is working on building like a billion user metaverse. They've teamed up with Facebook, and they have Mark Andreessen in the background pushing the whole thing, like the Wizard of Oz. And so I just, maybe it's because I'm a dreamer, but I see this like future of an immersive world that exists, and yeah, I mean, digital money is going to be what would move everything in that world.
It does seem like it's ready for it, but what about World of Warcraft, the existing virtual worlds? Can they be upgraded and just sideways converted rather than creating a new world?
I don't know. I think there's something about being in the world.
Well, the the closest I know to virtual reality is that thing that Facebook just bought, right? Oculus Rift.
I have it at my home. It's very, very, very good. But you have some latency problems. Can't wait till the new version is out.
So you have Oculus Rift. You can actually go into the 3D virtual world.
Yeah, but it's hard to explain on how it is. For the people who had the Vuzix glasses, there you have like a very big screen in front of you. It's like to be in the movie theaters. But with Oculus Rift, you're like in that world. It's very you get a strange feeling of it. But only the problem with the development kit version 1 is for the moment the resolution, and you can see the pixels very clear. So it's but you still have the sense that you're in the game. But I think when the developer kit 2 gets released, they give a much higher resolution and additional features like looking behind the corners and so on. So it will be much more immersive.
The real question is, what do you guys think Facebook is going to do with this virtual reality technology? Be walking through Facebook in the future?
No.
Yeah, you're going to
I'm not going to be walking through Facebook.
dimension. Do you know Caprica?
Oh, what's that? Caprica?
No, Caprica from the creators of Battlestar Galactica.
I didn't watch it, but yeah, is it related?
Yeah, but there you have a person who creates a virtual reality glass, and there's a whole world attached with, where you have like human life computers. How do you say it? Yeah, artificial intelligence, but like humans, and the world is all dynamic, and the glass has eye projection. So I think that's where we're going to go in the future. So it just gets projected on your iris. And, when we can do that in high resolution, then we will have a full virtual reality. Because now you have the Omni to move around freely and so on. You have pressure suits, etc. I can show some links if you want.
Sounds very cool. Virtual reality coming today.
Yeah, but if you would mix it up with Bitcoin, so imagine if they can scan your body and you can move like very freely, then Bitcoin is a nice integration as well again, because it's Bitcoin is digital.
Bitcoin's right out of a science fiction novel, like Marguerite was saying, like Ready Player One or Credits or any other kind of woofy in the Cory Doctorow Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom. The ability to have Bitcoin on your phone, or what I think we all think is going to be kind of a cuff or a watch type device. We're joined by Charles. Charles, how's it going? Are you in the airport already? It's like the video started working, but no microphone. We'll see if Charles can hear us and talk to us here. Waiting. Nope, look like almost have it. Must be a slow Wi-Fi in the airport there, but I can announce we were talking about Bitcoin 2014 and the exciting things that are going to be on there. Charles is going to be going to Bitcoin 2014 for the World Crypto Network in Amsterdam. He's going to be reporting live from the scene where hopefully they'll have better Wi-Fi than whatever Wi-Fi they have today at the airport. Which
You must interview Tuur de Meester.
Tuur de Meester? What's his project?
He's a Bitcoin market specialist.
Very cool. I can say that so far Charles has confirmed to me that he's been added to the interview list for Rodolfo Andregas, Alakani Alale, the lady from Nigeria, or I believe that's the country, might be another African country, Roger Ver, and Jesse Powell, the CEO of Kraken. So very cool. Getting ready for it. But it doesn't look like his connection's working from the airport or perhaps even the airplane as he's on his way to Amsterdam. Very cool.
Sure.
So let's see what else is going on. We've got a cool article here that EVE Online's economist thinks that Bitcoin could be a scam. This is a great comment from someone who wants to have you waste your whole life in a video game. So very cool. David, what do you think about EVE Online's economist saying that Bitcoin's a scam?
I think he's missing the entire point of what Bitcoin is. And I think it is certainly questionable, seeing as EVE Online has two currencies. There's the in-game currency of ISK, and there's another currency called Plex, not to be confused with the media center. And Plex is a secondary currency which people can buy with real money, but also trade in the game and actually use it to sort of buy time in the game. And you can, I think you can possibly earn it in the game, so it is possible to, if you sort of are a hardcore player, you could actually, in theory, play for nothing because you could be earning Plex. So I think there's possibly a conflict of interest there. But I think if I was starting an MMORPG startup now, I think using a cryptocurrency, not necessarily Bitcoin, would be a no-brainer, because it would really quickly allow you to bridge the virtual world with the real world, and cryptocurrencies are ideally suited for doing microtransactions, which is exactly what game makers, how they want to make their money. I mean, if you look at things like Candy Crush Saga, or basically anything from Zynga or whatever, that's the way they make the money, and they make a heck of a lot of money from individuals.
Yeah, Bitcoin as competition for their whole cryptographic value. It's not a cryptographic value, but ISK has been there for I think much longer than Bitcoin, and it has a nice big market cap.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's EVE Online is quite a fantastic game.
But well,
yeah, I mean, there is a trade in the in-game currency of ISK with dollars. I mean, it's an unofficial trade, but when you get these massive space battles going on in EVE Online, I mean, the last one was earlier this year, and there was about 4,000 players in one star system, and the people who run EVE actually find out when there are going to be big battles and actually put extra server power behind those star systems for people to get in there. And then when people report on it, they actually say how many $1 million worth of Starship equipment was destroyed in the battle.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've read about that fight. It was a very, very, very expensive fight. That's the only thing I remember about it.
I remember they had a great fight once where a capital ship warped into the wrong sector, and it was a mistake, and it didn't bring any of its support ships with it, and then suddenly all kinds of other ships started warping in, and then suddenly there was a huge fight in that sector, and an incredible amount of value was destroyed.
Yep, I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Sure. But I, from my point of view, I'm glad I stopped MMOs, because you put a lot of time in it for nothing. So yeah, it's a great community, but yeah.
Yeah, I had a long history of playing MMORPGs. I had a long time when I was out of action with a long-term illness, and it was a great lifeline. And I would actually say, in the one I played, I actually learned to be a freelancer. So it's kind of now, sort of real life is the game that I'm playing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think someone needs to make a mod for Minecraft and put QR codes in Minecraft on blocks.
I would like to get paid for every block that I mine in Minecraft. That would be much more satisfying than just breaking the blocks open, but you have been paid 0.00001 Bitcoin.
Meta mining.
Still exist?
Minecraft coin would be cool.
Yeah, there was a coin a long time ago. I don't know if it still exists.
It's supposed to be cool. There's a Dogecoin PDX party going on this Saturday in Portland, Oregon. Check it out. It's going to be an epic Dogecoin party. Oh, and it says Follow the Coin will be there and the Boffin will be there. So unlike Dogecoin SF, this will be a more laid-back party vibe. They're having fun and raising money for charity. So check out Dogecoin PDX. Very cool.
Did you see the epic Dogecoin montage?
No? You want to pull it up? What's
that? My god, it's so funny.
Very cool. Seen a lot of Dogecoin videos. We also have here's a picture of the Anti-Domingo Club, and they have a Bitcoin shrine. They have a blockchain sticker, an Accept Almost Bitcoin sticker, and the Anti-Domingo QR codes. Very cool. Bitcoin Shrine.
And have you heard another news, the Doge Vault hack?
I've heard about the Doge Vault hack.
Yeah,
It's very
where
unfortunate.
people stored their bitcoins and it got hacked. So a lot of people lost their Doge coins.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, but I don't understand that people store their coins at an online service. It's like giving your briefcase full of money to a person you don't know and say, keep it for me. I will come back. Yeah, when I need it. It's like, I don't understand that people do that.
It seems a lot more convenient to store your money in an online system. I know a lot of people have money in exchanges, and they use them like banks.
Yeah, but for me personally, as long as it isn't decentralized, I like to have my own security, because we have seen Mt. Gox, and now we see also other parties. Yeah, so.
Do you mainly have paper wallets, or do you just have online wallets with backups?
I don't give information on that because I have too much wallets. Sorry.
I know that Andreas said once that his paper wallets, he had to break them down into smaller amounts. They were getting too large to be on paper. So if you started Bitcoin early...
I used gold wallets, paper wallets.
Paper wallets,
so.
That's the best.
You need a sound wallet.
Sound wallet.
Sound wallet.
You can do that. You can even encrypt your wallets inside a picture you love. So, because or even in a file, because if you go to machine language, you have always a free space open that you can manipulate. So.
Well, I put a private key on a record.
Very cool.
You can play the record back, and you just have to read it with a spectrograph, and then you can read your private key then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that's the nice thing about Bitcoin. You can, if you're just creative, you can protect it in your own way that nobody knows. So.
Yeah, I think that is a strength of Bitcoin, but you can do that. I think for the people not like us, for just general Joe blogs on the street, I think there will be some comforting idea of having an analogy of a bank to cryptocurrencies, and it's what we're doing already with centralized banks. People do store money effectively online because you log into your bank online, you use a credit card, it may as well be virtual money. But the good thing about even having a cryptocurrency bank is that you can do a cryptographic audit, you can do a proof of reserves, which you've never been able to do with the established system. I mean, the established system can basically say anything it wants about what it has in reserves, which is why, as we all know, fractional reserve banking is one of the biggest cons in history.
Yeah, true. That's how they got big. Last I have read an article. If they wanted to do a war, and they use only Bitcoin, that they have to ask every person to do the war. It's like, and now they can just print it. It's like. What the fuck?
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. No one's going to crowdfund a bomber. Does anyone want to contribute? We're going to drop bombs on people and kill them. We'll put your name on a bomb. It's a crowdfunding project. Anyone want their name on a bomb? I sure don't.
Yeah, but in the current financial system, you don't have a choice. Like if I say no, I don't want to, you're going to do it anyway because you pay taxes and they use your tax money for it.
Very true. Very true. Let's see. We got invites. Well, we've got a lot of questions going on here. I'm going to go and try to answer some of them. We've got John Hannes from Skyhook ATM. He's contacted us in the questions, and we go ahead and pull up the Project Skyhook website. It looks better every time I go there. Skyhook used to be a little metal ATM. Now it's a little white ATM. I believe this is the first sub $1,000 Bitcoin ATM. And the main question I have is, like, should I buy one? Sounds really cool.
Are they delivering?
I'm not sure if they're delivering yet. It's definitely a good question. I believe John's probably answering. So if he goes ahead and types it in the question and answer, or if he contacts us on Twitter or through email or something, we could add him in here and let him answer for himself. But I do believe they're taking orders now. Let's see. I know that for a while I was on like a list I could have pre-ordered. It does look like they have a Euro version. Canadian version. I can add it to carts. I have to first fill out the.
Have you ever tried to pick up a Lamassu Bitcoin ATM?
I believe they're pick it up physically or spend the 10,000.
Yes, physically. No, physically.
No,
They're really, really heavy.
Bitcoin meeting, you can carry a left, but it's very bad for your back. And I think you're not going to walk 1 kilometer. It's a few hundred meters.
No, you won't get far with it. And but I'm wondering how heavy this little one is.
I believe that would be one of the issues on this is the physical security. I think that you could probably attach a pole to the bottom of it, maybe a pole mounting system, and maybe you could attach it there. But it's strange because you want to be able to bring your Bitcoin in and out of somewhere with a meeting, but you don't want someone else to take your Bitcoin ATM in and out of somewhere. So it's kind of a catch-22 there. But this is a less expensive system than the Lamassu. Only about 1,000 compared to their 10,000.
Well, you know what the Lamassu really is? It's just it's a QR reader, it's a tablet, and it's that some kind of money reading machine. It reads the bills.
Yep.
And that's it. That's all it is.
Sure. Yeah, but it's heavily secured inside.
Yeah, okay, there's the programming behind it too. I don't know exactly how it works, but you have to have Wi-Fi for it to work.
Ah, very interesting.
No, yeah, you can, but it's just a cable to a router or a repeater, or even your smartphone. So because most Bitcoiners here in Belgium are they're not mainstream. Yeah, let's say it like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, and if you could tether on your phone, you could just tether to your ATM and then provide access.
Well, I've done it. I've tethered to a Lamassu before, and it works.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We have another question from the crowd. He says, it's great to chat with you guys. He's in China reviewing the day's news in the West. He says, what about Vertcoin? He says, Vertcoin is up 30% in the last day. What do you guys think about VTC? Here's the chart right here.
Well, I love it.
He loves it. It's an ASIC.
Maybe I can do up a donation and try to have my veterinary accept the coin to do an operation on my dog.
Maybe. I don't know, but I know that Vertcoin is an ASIC resistant coin. It started out a lot cheaper than it is now. It's certainly gone up well. I certainly didn't buy any, but I have been tipped a few through my Mad Bitcoins Coin of the Week contest, where I can proudly say Vertcoin's up to number 3, right behind Doge and Feather. So good job, Vertcoiners.
Yeah, good job.
But yeah, definitely I would check it out. At the same time, there was another one called Particle Coin that was supposed to be ASIC resistant. I don't think it really turned out, but it was a very cool coin at the time. ASIC resistance a good category for coin. It's a technical thing, and I think it's a good technical thing, probably worth having. So
yeah.
Let's see. We had another question about CureCoin. I'm going to try to find the question and then try to say something about CureCoin. I think it sounds like a cool idea. I'd like to see coins dedicated to cures and other charity-type coins, but I think part of the problem is that there's not enough multi-signature wallets yet. With a coin like this, if you're going to say the bounties are going to go to cure a disease, I'd like to see the funds put into multi-signature wallets that are actually out of the developer's control. Something like this would establish trust. As it is right here, I'm just not sure who the dev team is and why I should trust them. It's very cool. I hope that they do cure something and that they do protein folding or whatever it's saying here. Looks like they have some nice graphics. But I just don't know if they're actually going to cure what they say they're going to cure. So. But
I think this is interesting more from a PR point of view than a technical point of view. I mean, when someone first hears about cryptocurrencies, one of the first questions we'll say, well, what's it worth? It's just bits on a computer. It isn't worth anything. At least gold I can build things with.
But we so rarely build anything out of gold. I just remember the last time I was gold in my garage, and I made a fancy ring for myself. I sure did.
Yeah.
Well, that's not exactly true. Gold's in in your computers. It's in a lot of things.
It is in the computer. It is in the
Yeah.
And it's in all those HDMI cables that make the digital signal so much clearer.
Yeah.
But and it's a concern that I had as well early on that we're using all this computing power for the sake of itself. I've since understood it better, but it's why I like the idea of Primecoin. That is useful, but the problem has been that you couldn't do it with, say, like SETI at home or Folding at home, because with all the cryptocurrencies, it's hard to create the hashes, but it's easy to check them. In the case of all of these distributed cloud computing projects, it's difficult to verify as well as create.
Very good. We'd like to thank Theo for joining us. He's going to head off. Good night, Theo.
Yep, I gotta go to sleep.
Good night to you.
Night.
Later.
Very cool.
Thomas, check my tweets. The eBay CEO is actively considering on how to enable Bitcoin with PayPal. That's from Tuur de Meester. I retweeted. He's also a speaker at Bitcoin Amsterdam 2014.
Very cool. Very exciting news from eBay this morning. And PayPal and eBay have been looking at Bitcoin, and I think it's really good for them. They need to get into this. They could face being completely left behind, and if they act soon, they could still be kind of early adopters on this thing. So.
Yeah, but imagine what it will do to Bitcoin. So, like, first we have Overstock taking the first step, and now if they take the next step, Bitcoin will be mature. Definitely, it's already mature, but it will be maturer, I think.
We do have a couple of updates from John Hannes. They are shipping the Skyhook ATM. So if you'd like a Skyhook ATM at, I think it's projectskyhook.com. It's giving me some weird URL, but I think it's just search for Project Skyhook. And they also have, he says, the questions just keep moving. Google should really test this question thing. It's almost impossible to use. It says, our unit shipped with a braided steel security cable and a steel plate for countertop mounting. So it does sound like it is possible to mount a Skyhook ATM if you had a permanent location that you wanted it. It's also, you could just put it up by the counter where the employees are watching it, and maybe even have an alarm or something. If you get over $1,000 in there, you go empty it out. Make sure it doesn't get too full. But we've got another question from Johnny Yen. He says, is anyone in the UK watching this in the Midlands? Word I'm going to say long. How about Leicester? Derby, Nottingham area? How'd I do, David? Did I get close on Leicester?
Leicester.
Leicester, I had no chance at all. No chance.
Nope.
But yeah, if anyone's watching, say hello. We have got a couple other questions. Someone asked if Bitcoin 2014 would be webcast, and I sent this question into the Bitcoin Foundation, and I haven't heard back. So I wouldn't hold your breath on the webcasting. I can say that the World Crypto Network will be there. Mike is traveling from San Francisco all the way to Amsterdam to the Bitcoin conference, and he's agreed to help cover it. We're also talking to Martek, who's already in Amsterdam, who's going to help cover it. And, of course, the highlight of that coverage will be if we can get both reporters broadcasting live on Google and then make them go find each other. Make them wander through the convention and find each other. So that'll be the highlight if we can pull that off. Someone else writes in, they say that Darkcoin's going nuts. And we did talk about Darkcoin on Cripsy. It's up to about 75 last time I saw it, which is way up from 37 where it was just about a week ago. So there's definitely some interest in an anonymous coin. Oh my goodness, we just looked at Darkcoin again. It's at 84. So Darkcoin has gone up from about 74 to 84 while we've been talking, and just seems to be on a pretty straight line up. So a lot of good buys there.
Thomas, I think you have a lot of influence.
You think we're affecting the Darkcoin price? I doubt it, but
it's like you have seen the Game of Thrones where you have that special guy who has. I don't know. Have you seen Game of Thrones last episode?
Sure. I haven't seen the most recent one. No spoilers, but
But then you have a person who's like a spider.
Oh yeah, Varys.
And by that names. And then he's a special guy, yeah. But you're like that. You have a lot of power, but you don't know.
Well, as a person who's read the books, it's fine to be compared to Varys the spider, except for the part when you realize that he's a eunuch. So everything but the eunuch part I'll take. But we also have a question on what are your thoughts about Richard Branson pumping BitPay or eBay? I haven't heard about Richard Branson pumping eBay or BitPay. I know that BitPay is really excited. They got a $30 million seed funding round in venture capital. David, what do you think about BitPay acquiring so much venture capital? Good for Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think it's a really good vote of confidence, and I'm glad to see where the investing is going, because rather than going into an exchange where people are going to be speculating even more on cryptocurrencies, it's actually going into a point-of-sale system, which is actually in the Bitcoin world is where all of the work needs to be done, because merchants worldwide need to be made more aware of point-of-sale systems, because then they are more likely to put up that "We accept Bitcoin here" poster, and then which will encourage people to carry Bitcoin and start spending it, and then that's when we hit critical mass and things really explode.
I know that BitPay is famous for their system which allows the merchants to instantly convert their Bitcoins into dollars. Marguerite, what do you think about that? Should merchants be converting Bitcoin into dollars or trying to hold the Bitcoin?
I would hold the Bitcoin if I were them, but I mean, we've all made mistakes.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of the merchants have to pay their suppliers. So if they want to buy more widgets to sell, they've got to pay the widget manufacturer in dollars. But it's like we were saying earlier, it is a chicken and the egg problem where we need the widget manufacturer to offer the widgets in Bitcoin, which he can't do until the businesses start holding him and then demanding that they take the Bitcoin. So we're going back and forth on that one.
And that's the thing, if businesses just invest in point-of-sale system, make a modest investment in point-of-sale systems, it isn't going to cost them anything else. I mean, well, it would. I mean, BitPay has got subscription fees, but you don't have to go that route. If they just do the minimal thing that they have to do to accept Bitcoin, that isn't going to cost them anything else, then it isn't going to hurt them to be able to accept Bitcoin. But then, the more businesses that do that, the more people on the street are going to see it and going to start wanting to spend Bitcoin, and then the more people who are carrying Bitcoin, all of a sudden you're going to have the person on the street who's a customer also happens to run the widget factory, and then things all start linking up.
There we go, and that's why just giving $1 of Bitcoin to everyone you meet, trying to spread the word, asking every shop, leaving behind flyers, we are Bitcoin the company. There is no Bitcoin the company. No one's going to be paying anyone to do this. It's us doing it. It's people donating. It's other people having ideas and doing what they think the right thing is. It's everyone working together that spreads this Bitcoin thing. So we do have an update from the question and answers. Johnny writes in and says to David that the YouTube report on CEX, the Scottish second-hand shop, says that they are buying and selling for Bitcoin. So I don't know if that's completely correct or if they were just confused, but I hope that is true and that you can, pawn items for Bitcoin as well as buy items for it.
Well, we're actually both right. My understanding is that the Glasgow store, which is what was in the press this week, is going to be doing the buying and selling, but as a general policy, especially on the website, they're not accepting Bitcoin yet. Although I dare say that'll change. I dare say they've got plans in place.
We do have another question from the question and answers. He says that CEX in the UK is only trialing the Bitcoin transactions for 3 days, but he went in and talked to his local branch. It must be a larger pawn shop that has multiple locations, and they say that it's going to go nationwide if it works out well in Scotland. So excellent news for CEX and for second-hand stores in the England-Scotland area.
David, since you're a journalist, what do you think about the Chinese market of Bitcoin? Has it been fully underground now, and what is going to be its influence in the future if they start to go back to the mainstream?
Yeah, that's an interesting proposition. I mean, I think it was because of the possibility of the Chinese market opening up, that the price rocketed to $1,200 last year because of just the sheer volume of people over there and the amount of commerce that's done.
Yeah, because their influence was very big. Because we had seen like 3 price drops they bought up. They banned, the story. So
yeah, I haven't quite worked out where the Chinese government's at with all of this. I think if the rules are relaxed, well then, yeah, we're probably going to see a lot more. I would expect to see a repeat of what happened last year if the Chinese government warms up to Bitcoin. But at the minute, there doesn't seem to be any signs of that. I think it's all been very uncertain in China because you've had lots of sort of second-tier banks telling Bitcoin companies that they're not allowed to do trading Bitcoin anymore. And it's like there's been like whispers coming from the People's Bank of China. However, to be fair, that's understandable because the People's Bank of China is presiding over the finance of 1.3 billion people, so they can't get into every little niche currency issue.
But Bitcoin is for me not a niche anymore because it's how you involve as human, because you have the physical world and you have the digital world, and I think Bitcoin how took its place in it. And maybe Bitcoin will not survive as the name, but it's like in the last show, it will survive as the technology that will be built upon. It's like the fundamentals of a new payment system.
I totally agree, and I mean the quote that I always use when I'm trying to explain cryptocurrency to people is that cryptocurrencies, whichever one it will be, will do for money what email did to the postal service. Even just from a pragmatic point of view, just the efficiency savings in using a cryptocurrency platform as a way to transmit funds, it's just too good to ignore. It's just there's a lot of fear, conflicts of interests, and lack of understanding in the world, and I think that probably applies to the People's Bank of China as well as it does to many businesses over here. Oh, and also the Chinese government is sort of famously authoritarian, and a decentralized currency means letting go of control.
Yeah, but can I ask you one more thing about the race of Darkcoin?
Of course, I don't know if I'll be able to answer, but please ask.
Darkcoin not the next Bitcoin? Because, like I said in the last show, Bitcoin was in the beginning for me privacy. And now, because Bitcoin is getting more and more mainstream, privacy is evaporating. And Darkcoin is protecting my identity. So, what do you think about?
Yeah, this is something
philosophy.
Yeah, even just philosophically, that is an issue that I'm personally still wrestling with, because you get a lot of businesses well, just in my own experience here in the UK, you get a lot of businesses saying no to Bitcoin because it could be used for money laundering. Well, we all know that cryptocurrencies are less anonymous than cash, and everyone deals in cash.
But cash is also used for money laundering, so
exactly.
And Darkcoin is more worse for money laundering than Bitcoin. But I don't do any laundering, so.
Well, of course you don't, and neither do sort of 99% of us. It's just big financial institutions are insanely risk averse. So any sort of hint that something could be used in a certain way that isn't going to benefit them, they don't want to touch. So on one hand, I think it's one of the strengths of cryptocurrencies that you do have this open thing, that the open blockchain that anyone can analyze, and then if you give up certain information about yourself, you have suddenly become financially transparent, and I think that is a really strong thing. However,
that's what I love about blockchain. If you really want, you can prove that you're legit. That's why I would like to put that's why I would like to start a company and put it in crypto land, no governments, because you can prove what you do if you have your company in a blockchain.
Yeah. Now the thing is, if you're a blogger, if you're like a dissident blogger in an authoritarian country, and someone links your Bitcoin address to your identity, suddenly you're in a lot of trouble. So I think there probably is a place for something like that coin. Although I'm still trying to decide whether you need a whole different currency or if you just use Bitcoin mixing services.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It does seem like
point you say.
you want it to be automatic. You want it to be included so that everyone is using a coin mixing service. Because obviously, if the only people using coin mixing are the people trying to hide something, then we just got a great bucket full of people right there. That'd be great to look through. So it needs to be everybody.
Yeah, and for much the same reason, I would recommend everyone goes to the EFF website and install the browser plugin for HTTPS everywhere, because the same thing applies. Because if in general your browser traffic isn't encrypted, people can intercept your traffic and see what you're doing. Whereas if it's encrypted, they can't as easily, and if everyone is using encryption, it really reduces that signal-to-noise ratio in terms of looking for the encrypted traffic. And because from a security person's point of view, if you're encrypting your traffic, you must be evil.
Absolutely, and I saw a great thing on Facebook recently where someone said, imagine if they had to spend hours and hours to decrypt a picture that turned out to be a picture of your cat. You know, like I hate to say to waste the government's time, but since they're spying on the people, the only way to get them to stop spying on the people is to make it too wasting of their time, to waste too much of it. So
yeah, absolutely right.
So we have a question from John Hannes. He says he may have missed this, but has any of us had the chance to try out stealth addresses from Dark Wallet? I know that Dark Wallet is a different product from Dark Coin. Dark Coin is seeking to anonymize the coin. Dark Wallet seeking to anonymize the wallet. What do you guys think about Dark Wallet?
I haven't heard from it. I have recently seen a website from with black coins in one of your shows.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I can do a tutorial on it for next week, so I'm interested in it.
Definitely check out the Dark Wallet. I haven't had a chance to install it yet, but I know it has been released in an early version. I've heard that it's kind of buggy. But I do like the idea that when you send with Dark Send, it would anonymize your coin sending by mixing them with a pool of other coins. And they had another feature where you could just anonymize the coins in your wallet by sending them to a new address, essentially back to yourself.
Well, if it's good for you, let's try it next week.
That would be good. So yeah, go ahead and check it out, and maybe we'll do a Dark Wallet demonstration next week. Someone also says that Coin Prism Color Coin Color Coin wallet was launched today. I haven't heard much about it. I know coloring coins supposed to be very cool, a way to have a coin represent something. You could have a colored coin that represents a deed to a house, and then whoever has the deed owns the house. So, sounds like a pretty cool idea for managing property with a blockchain. Haven't gotten a chance to check out the Coin Prism, not Prison, sorry, from Color Coin. You guys heard anything about Color Coin?
Not directly. Actually, seeing as it's something that Hullcoin may be doing, I am going to be studying up on colouring coins in general very soon. I need to get an understanding of it.
Coins, master coins, counterparty coins. There's a lot of like the similar to the Ethereum system we were talking about, or even the MadeSafe coins, which were a fundraising effort that was launched on top of Mastercoin, I think it was, or perhaps Counterparty. But John Hanna says that he has a Portland Bitcoin group member who's working on a stealth wallet mining pool, which would work on top of Dark Wallet. So presumably you could have an even more encrypted and an even more random wallet address if you got it from a mining pool, something like that.
Do they have more information on it, like a website? Or can they tweet me? How can they tweet me that information? Tweet Silvercuda.
There you go. Tweet Silvercuda. But we'll try it. We've got a couple more things. Silver Miner says that you can remove the moving averages from BTC Wisdom and just look at the raw data, see the raw prices. Someone else, the Cyborg, properly points out that my lack of knowledge about charting is my stick, and then I'm playing a bit of a joke there. And I enjoy looking at the charts because I do believe they represent the past. I don't know what else they represent. It's very hard to see, but in the past, those charts are 100% right. So if you want to do some double guessing on yourself, you can always look at the chart and say, oh, I could have bought here and I could have sold here. And boy, I could have been smart. But remember, no one is that smart. No one can see the future. So people are saying that, let's see. So still, if you'd like to call in for Battlefield 4, if you have the ultimate answer to what 42 is, you can go ahead and tweet to SilverQDA, that's Silver Cuda, for your prize. He's offering the prize. More people say that you can watch Vertcoin on BTC Wisdom. Very cool. BTC Wisdom, of course, or Bitcoin Wisdom is a great charting site. Has a lot of graphs and charts that you can look at if you want to see what the price was like in the past. Fortunately, it doesn't show the price in the future just yet. We're still waiting for that feature. But we're looking to wrap it up here on Bitcoin Talk Show. We are joined by David Gilson from Hull in the UK, joined by Marguerite, coin artist from Arizona. We're joined by Bjorn from, where are you at, Bjorn? Are you in Brussels or are you in Copenhagen?
Bruges, the medieval town.
Oh, very nice. The fortress, the walled fortress of Bruges.
Yeah, indeed.
Very cool, very cool. So thank you, everyone, for being with us today on Bitcoin Talk Show. We're going to run to the exits here. David, you want to say something as a goodbye to the people?
Just say thanks to everyone for watching, and it's been fun to be on here for the first time. And if you want to follow things that I'm reporting on, just follow me at David Gilson on Twitter. It's in the lower third.
Very cool, at David Gilson. And we'll be back next week, Wednesday, from noon to 3 Pacific Time, Bitcoin Talk Show. And goodbye from Marguerite, too. So
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.